Chad Benson Show
on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Which one's which? I got the changer here. I don't want to watch Dick Cheney's funeral. No offense, guys.
Can you change the
I
channel?
am. I'm going right to Timeless Tidings of Joy. Starring Candace Cameron Bure and Paul Green.
Either that or you can watch Portlandia.
Oh, I tell you what. I watched 3 today. I don't know how I do it. You're probably saying, Chad, how do you do it? It's tough, but I do it. I pull it off. 3 Hallmark movies today.
All right.
Went back a few years. Found one I'd never seen before, never even knew about. Came out last year because they come at you so fast. So many of them. This one was with Jennifer Love Hewitt.
All right.
Yeah, it was very nice.
J-Love.
Yeah, she's curvy. Looking good. You looking good. That's my morning.
I was curious.
Yeah.
J-Love.
Nice. Christmas is nice. You could jingle all the way over here.
Jennifer Love Hewitt is perfect for those movies, man.
Oh, God, yeah.
I love her.
I do
love her
too.
to death, man.
It was phenomenal. I was like, this is fantastic.
Did she fall in love?
She did.
All
so her
right.
mom had just died. She has this thing where she decorates big houses for, and her mom had died, and she never got to say goodbye to her mom, and they owned the business together. And then she fell in love with the handyman at the place where she was going to, just like the best friend of this banker. And him and his family were out of town, and she was going to decorate it all for him, and they fell in love. And his wife or his fiance had died the year before at Christmas time.
Oh, man.
And she softened his heart.
Well, of course.
And maybe did some other things. Wow. Ho, ho, ho. Wow. Bow, chicka, bow, cow.
Did you ever watch Ghost Whisperer?
Yeah.
She,
phenomenal in that.
Whoever directed that show had a formula where it was...
It was all dirty old men?
No, it was... Shot was her and her friend, storefront, possible ghost, boobs, husband, a storefront, boobs,
Did you ever see Family Guy when they made fun of that? Why do you guys keep coming to me? We don't know. I didn't tell you.
But it was just so obvious, and they always put her in like little nighties and sundresses and stuff.
Of course.
Oh, my goodness.
I know it's awful, but you know what? It is what it is. You're selling love, and I'm loving it. That's what's going on there. Matt Van Epps going to be in here later. I guess we'll have to ask him about the controversial comments from Afton Bain. She doesn't hate Nashville. You know what she hates? The same thing that everybody else, you guys all hate. We complain. We complain. So many of you complain about the same thing. Those people riding around on a little booze mobile.
You talking about those pedal taverns?
Yeah, because she said that. I hate the pedal taverns. I hate the bachelor parties.
Bachelorette parties.
Yeah, bachelorette parties. I hate the, the country music. This is not my thing. All the stuff that I don't like. And I'm like, yeah, everybody, you guys all text the same thing in. You do. Let's be real.
Wonder how come we don't have big bachelor parties rolling down the
They
streets
go to Vegas.
of Nashville?
Vegas.
Well, yeah, that's
They go to Vegas and Epstein Island.
Yeah, Epstein Island.
That's where those dancers are.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Pole dancers.
Yes, indeed. The cheetahs. My neighbors in so when I lived in Orange County, California, our neighbor, she danced in Vegas on the weekends, Friday, Saturday, and she was home Sunday.
Probably made a lot of money.
She made, it's funny, she had an MBA from USC. She owned half the block. Right now, that block's probably worth $50 to $100 million.
Yeah.
And she was one of the first ones to write off her boobs. But she says, you know what? She goes, in a good weekend, she goes, like, if there's a big fight or something, she goes, I make $30,000, $40,000 cash.
Oh, yes.
Over like a 4 or 5 day period when she go that. But so what she say, you should fly with us when we go out there. So we flew with them one time. And when you leave from John Wayne Airport, they can still call it that, on a Friday, going to Vegas, It's air stripper. There's like 40 girls on there.
I don't want to hear any more about women making 70 cents on the dollar.
Oh, yeah, they don't. Yeah, totally. But
there's
ladies.
ways around that.
No, let me tell you, 70 cents on the dollar, you guys scream about that. You know when you don't scream about that and, oh, men are bad? When the ship is sinking. Right? Yeah, that's why we get that extra 30%, right? That right there. And you take all of our hard-earned money. Do you know what? That's what we should do if you ever go to a strip club. Just tear the dollar, like just a third of the dollar and give it to them. If you were a dude, I'd give you the whole dollar. Oh, goodness me. Boobies everywhere, yes.
Boobies.
Ah.
Not everywhere enough.
Oh, jeez.
Boobies and hot chocolate.
Oh,
What the hell is wrong with you?
That's what it's about.
That is, man.
I watched one, the first one I watched this morning. So this guy's getting married to his girl. Well, he's going to pop the question, but he has to go meet the family. Here's the thing. His new father-in-law is going to be Santa Claus. And if he agrees to marry her, he has to take over the business.
I love it.
It was phenomenal. I love that.
And that means he's got to get fat, too.
That's it. Like the movie The Santa Claus.
Yeah, the Santa Claus.
I love the movie The Santa Claus.
I did, too.
Remember that when he was riding on the sled and he goes, Merry Christmas, and tomorrow I'm going to get a CAT scan.
Judge Reinhold was great in that, man.
Oh, he was. His weenie whistle.
Is he dead now?
No, did Judge? I don't think Judge died.
I think he's still going,
His partner,
man.
his partner in Beverly Hills Cop died, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, I think
Taggart.
so. Yeah,
The guy who
Taggart.
played Taggart.
Because he was in the last Beverly Hills Cop movie on Netflix. So, Axel F., he was in that. Yeah, so, and I think that was the last movie that guy did, because when they brought him in, John Ashton, he was like 80 pounds. You know, it was like one of those things where you could tell he wasn't longed for this. Oh, man, I tell you what. Yeah, did Chad just give the male stripper $1? Yes, because they only make 70 cents compared to a male getting $1. I was doing math. Hallmark movies. You hate Hallmark movies. Well, Christy, you know what? I'm sorry communism lives in your house. But it doesn't live in mine. Oh, geez. You know, it's so weird. There's just like, there's only so much you could talk about child molesters. And you're like, I don't really want to talk about that. Like, I want to talk about, sometimes you need to have the stupid and the mindless that takes your mind off stress.
You do, man.
Well, I'd be willing to talk about child molesters if it was about the upcoming execution of one.
Oh, yeah. They're easy to find. How do you know? Because they're 6 feet under this ground right here. That's where you find them. So, but are we ever going to find any of that stuff out? Probably not. I mean, what we were hearing today that they're trying to take, reports are they're trying to take Trump's name out of everything. And we were laughing. Their Department of Justice is like, the stuff that they do is so ridiculous. It's like when the kids all steal the same test and they do the exact same thing. And they even miss the same. It's like, come on, guys. Come on. We know they were friends. All right. I still don't think Trump did anything. And the whole thing with Clinton, too. I hear this. I'm telling you guys right now, the Democrats do not care about Bill Clinton or Hillary Clinton.
No.
They are an anchor around their neck. If he is in there, great. They don't care. They don't. It's that simple.
They would have to have. They would not be worried unless there was evidence that President Obama was on one of those flights or something like that. And
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything related to that at all.
Yeah, no. Like Obama. Obama's not on any of those things. He can't be. Hey, guys, he can't be gay and... Right? Because that's the other thing, right? Like his former chef, who was his lover, died. He can't be both gay and chasing, no.
We would
die.
have already heard about that.
His chef didn't die. He was murdered by Mike, his wife.
That's right, Mike, his wife. Yeah, see, it can't be any of those things. You can't be any of those things. Oh, see here, Nathan from Busy Bee. I tried to be a stripper. It wasn't that good. Had to quit because the quarters kept falling out of my G-string. I hear you on that. I didn't have a G. I had a G string, I had an H, and an F.
The chorus.
H-I-J-K, element of P.
Nathan, just go for the silver dollars.
Oh,
That's right. Is that a Susan B. Anthony? Show me to the champagne room.
And jingle all the way there.
Yeah, jingle jangle.
I gotta watch. I've got to watch the J. Love Hewitt.
Oh yeah, I'll
Christmas
send it to you.
movie,
It's
man.
awesome. It is phenomenal. It is
She's the best, man. I mean, she is made for movies
like
like
her and Lacey Chabert.
Yeah.
Basically anybody that was on Party of Five
that.
is in a
Yes.
Hallmark movie.
Yes.
Was Lacey on Party of Five?
Yeah. They all
The
got
only
this-
thing I remember her from was the Lost in Space remake.
Nev Campbell was in Party of
Nev
Five.
Campbell.
Was it a Scott Wolf and the other guy? Yeah, so like they're all meant for it. That's like, and it's just great. What a great gig that is. Like you get that gig.
Absolutely, man.
Those you're going to do 10 of those movies a year, right? Because that's what they're all the same people. They just rotate them. It's phenomenal. You get to play Christmas all year. Oh, that's great. Although, if you want a good, have you ever seen Fat Man?
No.
Fat Man is Mel Gibson, who plays Santa Claus, and this rich kid doesn't get what he wants from Santa, so he hires a hitman
Oh, I'm watching that.
to go get Santa. And let me tell you something. The part where they get into a shootout, he goes, "Do you think you're the first person to come up here and try to kill me?" and the hitman is, oh God, what's his name? He is one of the best actors around. Walter Goggins.
Oh yeah.
Oh, from Fallout.
Yeah. And yeah, it is brilliant though. The movie's hilarious. And it's just there's a great Christmas movie. It was Violent Night a couple years ago where Santa goes to give presents to the house and it's being robbed. And it's the guy from God, what's his name? Stranger Things. The sheriff.
Oh, I can't. I
Yeah,
don't know.
he's
Can't
Santa
remember his real
Claus,
name.
and he's also he's kind of a badass. So he blows up. It's super violent. He blows a whole bunch of people up.
I cannot believe I have not watched Fat Man yet.
Oh, you will love it.
I'm doing that.
Yeah, you will love
Looks
it.
like it's free on Tubi.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just have to watch
love
about 9 minutes of commercials.
it. You will absolutely
Fat Man.
Fat Man. It is so great. It is so because he's just a regular guy, but he's Santa Claus. And it's just, yeah, it's a great, it's you know what it is? I put it up there with that, what was that movie, Willy's Wonderland with Nicolas Cage.
Willy's Wonderland with Nicholas. That you sent to me on.
That's like Five Nights at Freddy's, like where he goes into a pizza parlor and he has to keep it clean, but
Yes.
but it's like he doesn't say a word the whole movie. He doesn't utter a word.
Right.
He's just Nick Cage.
Freaking Cage.
That's all you need to know, kids. He's Nick freaking Cage. Speaking
Dude,
of that, a lot of stuff to get to today. We should have some fun today. Oh, that's right. That's what we do. We'll talk a little bit about the economy. We got Matt Epps again at 2 o'clock. Hopefully, we'll play some of the.
Yeah, I just talked to Alex, so that's confirmed.
That's confirmed. We'll play some of the Afton stuff coming up as well. A little Thankful Thursday. Kevin Spacey, interesting, and Susan Powder. You guys remember Susan Powder?
I remember the name.
She was the aerobics chick in the 90s that had the platinum blonde bald head almost, was just like shaved to like a quarter of an inch. And she was like, "You can do it. You can do it." It is what's going on with her life. Talk about that as well. Bunch of other good stuff. And yes, more holiday fun with Hallmark. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 997.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
All right. Omaha Steaks, man. Life is expensive out there. You know that. Meat, I hear it all the time. It's so expensive. Don't have to worry about Omaha Steaks. Takes care of it for you. Sizzle all the way sale going on right now. 50% off site-wide, omahasteaks.com. Now, when you use my code Benson at checkout, you are going to get 35 extra bucks off when you use that promo code. We're talking about the best steaks, the best quality steaks, 100% unconditional, bite for bite, money back guarantee. And it doesn't matter if it's the burgers, the steaks, the dogs, the pork chops. They have, are you ready for this? Seafood. They've got it all. And right now you can take advantage of 50% off site-wide. It's giving the gift that keeps on giving. And if you're good, maybe they barbecue some for you. So it's like you're getting some of that gift as well. Go to omahasteaks.com. Save big on the big gourmet gifts and holiday favorites with Omaha Steaks. 50% off site-wide. omahasteaks.com. Use code Benson, get $35 off at checkout. Already 50% off site-wide. omahasteaks.com. Terms apply. See site for details. omahasteaks.com. Code Benson. All right, guys, let me tell you something about Beacon Capital Management. I was talking to the guys today over there because they're helping us out, on Monday for our big Nashville rescue mission drive. And they're just amazing. And, we talk about being able to invest and do all the kind of things that we do. And, they're talking today how blessed they are. And they're doing amazingly well. And if you are saying to yourself, you know what, maybe you need tax advice. Maybe you need a situation where people don't like to talk about when they go into retirement. Are you going to outlive your money? That's something people worry about. So talk to them about that. But also long-term care, estate planning, taxes. They do it all at Beacon. And the beauty of it is not going to cost anything. Just have a talk with them. Find out, hey, what can we do together? So do this. Write this number down right now. 615-488-9303. 615-488-9303. Talk to them. Maybe you need one of these things. Maybe you need all of these things. They will offer you anything you need. And it's a free personalized financial consultation. 615-488-9303 or check them out at beaconcm.com. This is a paid placement.
All right, drivers, got some wet roads out there. Might be adding to the problems we're encountering right now. In Donaldson, we've got a crash blocking the right lane, Briley Parkway at Elm Hill Pike, then Madison stop-and-go traffic, 65 northbound between Old Hickory Boulevard and Louisville Highway. Over by the airport, right lane blocked by a crash, 40 westbound before Briley Parkway. And a new study claims what you need to make to live comfortably in Tennessee. These stories and more at 1230 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Yeah, that study's crazy, right?
Yeah, it's telling.
It is. And you wonder, I was talking to Chris before he and the guys got out of here. And, he's like, we got to get the millennials and the Gen Z back. And he's like, I said, what do you think you should do? Chris is all, we should put some Democrats in jail. I said, well, I said, dude, I hate to be the news. You be the bearer of bad news. They don't care about that. If people have done wrong, put them in jail. They don't care what party it is. You want to get them back? Better figure out how to get the economy somewhat more affordable for them and everybody else. But that is their big worry. You're listening to this, you need $95,000 to be able to live comfortably. I mean,
more than that.
And if it's a family of, two of this, if it's a family of four, you need $250 gazillion. That's what they worry about. That's what's on their mind. When I talk to I'm not only, I have Gen Alpha at my house. I've got Gen Z and millennials for brothers and sisters. they, the Epstein stuff mattered because they didn't care about party. They cared about justice, and they wanted they feel like that the rich are getting, be able with murder and do anything they want, but they care about the cost of life, and you want to get them back. That's what they care about. They're not party driven, like, just click right or left, just straight down. That's not who they are. The big issue for them is affordability. That's you've got to learn that, affordability. When you hear those numbers here coming up a little bit, when Ken talks about it, it's crazy. But do you want to get the millennials and the Gen Z back? That is how you're going to have to do it. That is absolutely, it's about affordability. It's the number one thing. For most people, it's always the number one thing, but that right there is the number one thing. You're making 55 grand, 60 grand a year, and you got 3 roommates.
Yeah, I mean, some of these youngsters in this building, I mean, they're living with 3 and 4 roommates.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. And they're not only living with 3 or 4 roommates, they're living with 3 or 4 roommates, and they're living miles away from here. They basically just went and they're renting somebody's, tree house. Like, that's the kind of, and that's the things that matter. If you want to get them back, I know that for a lot of people, it's like, we want to get them and this, that, and the other. They don't live that way. It's a much different way that they're coming at things. And if you don't get affordability under control before next year, and I'm talking by April, people have made up their mind by then. And that's not going to be something. I mean, you go look at the numbers out there. I mean, the numbers, by the way, Brett Baer read off the numbers yesterday on Fox. And they were, if you're Trump, you're like, we're toast if we don't turn this thing around. We're absolute toast. Wasn't even close. And we're talking about 70% disapproval in the things that he dominates in, like the economy. So that's how you get them back. It's the number one way you get them back.
Well, it is what kicked Kamala Harris's ass in the election. Yeah. That was it.
Yeah, the people that put economy number one thing they worried about, he won that, I think, like 81-19.
My name is Angela Gomes, and
I don't know who Angela Gomes is, but you better watch it, girl. That's what I'm talking about. Is she on my show? I don't think so.
Is she friends with J-Love?
She may be. J-Love. You guys and your J-Love. Some of your J-Love there. $46 an hour for $96K a year. That is, I mean, you think about that. That's big. Yeah. Somebody who knows Mason goes, Mason has 5 roommates.
Yeah, he does. I think he lives with a couple of his brothers and a couple of their friends.
Yeah. So, no, prices don't go in reverse, and you're right. Look, inflation only matters if you don't keep up with the cost of inflation.
That's what's happening.
If inflation, if it goes up 10%, but you get a 15% raise, you're 5% to the good. If it goes up 10% and you get a 2% raise, you just got an 8% tax. Ooh, not fun. Coming up, we'll talk more about that study. Plus, we'll play some of Afton. What'd she say? Matt Van App's coming in at 2 o'clock. Kevin Spacey, Susan Powter, remember them? Famous people. What are they up to? Not a lot. I will tell you that right now. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7.
12:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Drivers over by the airport still got a right lane blocked. 40 westbound before Briley Parkway. Man, that is really backing things up. And in Madison, we've got stop-and-go traffic, weather and construction delays related. This is 65 northbound between Old Hickory Boulevard and Louisville Highway. President Trump posted remarks on Truth Social after several Democratic veterans released a joint video in which they said that U.S. service members could refuse illegal orders. In one post, President Trump said it's seditious behavior, punishable by death. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer said President Trump's rhetoric makes political violence more likely. He called for it to be condemned.
Let's be crystal clear. The President of the United States is calling for the execution of elected officials. This is an outright threat, and it's deadly serious.
Living comfortably in Tennessee isn't cheap. A new study by travel and financial information company Upgraded Points and published by Channel 4 says a single adult needs about $96,000 a year, while two adults need roughly $126,000 a year. You add a child and that jumps to more than $165,000. Then families with 3 kids need over $224K. The report factors in necessities, discretionary spending, and savings to define what comfortable really means. And it means you should be spending only about 50% on the necessities. The TSA is poised to enact a new rule that would charge an $18 fee to those who travel without a real ID. The fee would cover additional screening that the traveler would have to have in order to get past security checkpoints. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Coming up next hour, the battle between MAGA and the GOP. I did a video on it last night. Bell's like, you should do some of that. I think I will. For those of you guys who don't know, Afton is running for 7th District.
By the way, I did like and
That right there is a team player.
What's it called on Instagram?
You shared.
You
shared.
You reshared it? Okay.
Yeah, you reshared.
I did that.
That right there is a team player. At Chad Benson Show. You guys should go like and subscribe, YouTube, all that stuff. Afton.
I've been heavily involved with the Nashville mayoral race because I hate the city. I hate the bachelorettes. I hate the pedal taverns. I hate country music. I hate all of the things that make Nashville, apparently, an it city to the rest of the country. But I hate it. Yeah, I'm that girl at the airport that all these bachelorettes are giddy walking out in their two-toned colored Pantone pink shirts. And they walk out and they're like, oh my God, Nashville is so bad.
They're so loud.
She hates Nashville. I think there's some sarcasm in that. And I don't want to hear it with the pedal taverns because I've heard it from all of you guys how much you hate it.
The pedal taverns suck almost as much as the bachelorette buses.
The bachelorette buses, man, right around April. Ooh, gets busy.
Oh, boy.
Gets busy.
Honestly, I'm not a violent person, but we should be able to take pellet and paint guns and just shoot those things.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Look at that. He's not a violent person, but he does play one on the radio. Do I think she hates Nashville? I don't.
No.
Do I think she was being sarcastic? Yes. Do I hear several of you all the time go, I hate those stupid pedal taverns? Man, they are. You get stuck behind one? Tell you what. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. They are a pain in the ass. You guys know that, so let's all settle down. We'll ask Matt Van Epps because look, it makes great bullet board kind of thing. Perfect to put up there.
I don't mind the pedal taverns unless I get stuck behind them.
Well, that's just it, right?
Other than that, I'm okay with them.
That's the big thing. Is the
I don't know if I'd shoot him with a paint gun.
Yeah, that's that. He always goes to the umpteenth. It's like, got to take it just farther than everybody else. You know what I do? I'd blow it up.
Brother Bill.
I'd throw a grenade in there.
I have recreational nukes at home, and I'll plan on dropping a few of those on them.
That's the way that works. A little bit much. So, and it's if you get stuck behind them, they suck. They do.
Yes, they do.
They absolutely suck.
They do, dude.
Man, it's like, and I live here on Music Row, so every time I get off the freeway, there's not a time that I don't get off the freeway when there's not one pulling out. Right? And there's always one or two, too. I'm always like, man, look at that poor sap there. He's pedaling his ass off. Those other two aren't even trying the pedal. They're not even helping. They're not even helping. So somebody says, love the woo-woo girls.
Yeah, the woo girls.
Yeah. Somebody says, Afton's a smug witch. Okay. She's awful. Somebody says, Van Epps will have to ask Trump what he thinks.
There's a distinction to be made. I think Afton's policies are pretty horrible, but Afton's a pretty nice person.
Yeah. Even Matt and I were talking about it yesterday. She's a bit naive in a lot. Because you know what? She's pie in the sky. It's all that stuff. But she's genuine, and she is nice. What you see is what you get. And in politics, as we've talked about, you don't get that all the time. And rarely do you get it. Rarely. Like, rarely do you get anything close to whatever it is that's in front of you. It's when the lights go out, and everybody's done and they're walking away and they're putting away all the equipment. Then that's when maybe that real person comes out. But even then, where she's kind of what she is. And her policies are uber progressive, uber liberal. And, do I agree with a few of them might be okay. But, what we were talking about yesterday, like 5% might be okay, like the weed, stuff like that. But outside of it, a lot of it it's pie in the sky. That's it. It's pie in the sky. All right, let's go over this number again, Ken, about how much it costs. $96,000 for a single person. So what are we talking about comfortable?
Yes.
Are we talking about like I'm putting $3,000 a month away? And so, what's the comfort level?
Yeah, they break it down in three areas. The study defines comfortable as covering essentials, discretionary spending, and then savings. So they're saying in order to live comfortable, you should only be spending 50% on essentials. You should be spending 20%, that includes 20% on your savings, and then you should have 30% left over for discretionary spending.
Ooh, that's a dream.
And that's, according to this study by travel and financial information company Upgraded Points, published by Channel 4, says, in order to do that by those metrics, a single adult needs to make $96,000 a year, two adults, $126K. You add a child, that's $165K, and then three kids, it'd be $224K.
God,
I have seen women in Playboy that were less of a fantasy than that is.
that's so 3 kids is basically almost $250,000.
That's what this says.
Good God. Now, I mean, obviously, that's if you're taking it from now. Like if you bought your house 12 years ago,
right.
It's much different because, your mortgage isn't what it is. But if you were to come here right now and, and you were single, to have something where you're not worried about next week. Because money doesn't buy you happiness. Money will make you more of who you are. If you're a jerk, you'll be even more of a jerk. If you're a good person, you'll be more of a good person because you can do more things. If it buys anything, it buys peace of mind. That's it. That you're not worrying about tomorrow's, job. You're not worrying about where your next paycheck's coming from. You're not worried about anything. That's what it buys you. But $96K.
Yeah, $96K for a single adult.
Good God.
Now, I got to think that's probably in Nashville.
Yeah, proper.
The bigger cities. I don't know if you would need that much in the smaller towns in Tennessee. I just don't know.
The smaller towns. Somebody said we have 13 kids. How much is that? $15 million. That's what that is. That's $15 million. That is, because think about it. Like all these new fandangled, if you're young, if you're a yuppie, remember the yuppie?
Yeah.
If you're a yuppie and you're here and you're making $100,000 a year, you're going to want to live in one of those, really nice, new, chic, apartments, right? That's got the bell, it's got the doorman, and inside it's got the gym that looks like you're going to a real gym, and it's got a Starbucks inside there. For the look, but for the average, if you're living outside, I would find that seems like it's a bit much. But it's not like you're getting rich. You're still one issue away from having to spend all the money you've been saving on your your deductible.
Yeah, something catastrophic health issue, something like that.
Yeah. Somebody said money bought me a boat. Yeah.
It'll do that.
Yeah, money buys you choices. That's right. It buys you peace. It buys you choices.
Yeah. So
if that's what it gives you. I've got a couple friends. I've got one friend that is the kind of wealth where you're like, that's wealth. Like there's well-to-do, there's rich, there's super rich, and then there's wealth.
And then there's FU money.
And he's got FU money.
Yeah.
And his life, he's like, it buys me choices, things to do, buys me opportunity, but it doesn't. His life has, outside of a bigger house and some other things, his life hadn't changed that much, but he grew up poor. And he goes, that's the one thing it's done. It's bought me peace of mind that I don't have to worry about, whether or not this company's going to take off or whether or not we're going to be laid off or any of that stuff.
Yeah. People who come from, meager earnings like that and then make it big like that, they really do appreciate it. They know how to appreciate it, and they know what to do with it.
Exactly. And that's it. And, but think about it. If you're 28 and you're making $90,000 a year, but you've got $1,000 payment for your student loan now, and then you've got your federal taxes, and you start looking up, and all of a sudden it's gone from, that looks great that I'm making $7,500 a month, after taxes. I'm only taking home $4 with everything. And my apartment, even if by myself, is $2,000 or $1,500, depending again where you live. And then, then you look up and it's not what it seems. Yeah, you hear that all the time from athletes. It's like, yeah, okay, well, what do you got to, you got federal takes this, then the state, wherever they're playing, takes that. And then in some sports, the state that you're playing in that week will take their money.
Right.
And then all of a sudden you pay your agent and you look up and your $15,000 check is down to $5,400, but you only get several of those a year. You're not getting those like a regular paycheck. You're surprised. That's why they all go broke, because they think it lasts forever.
I don't know if this is still the case, but I want to say about a year ago, Jalen Hurts, Super Bowl winning quarterback for the Eagles. There for a while, he still lived in his parents' three-bedroom home just outside of Houston, Texas.
Like
just a modest 3-bedroom home.
A lot of those guys that have in the last 15 or 20 years, the Gronk, was Gronk, Marshawn Lynch never spent $1 of his money that he earned playing football. He invested it all. Everything was endorsement money that he lived off of.
Smart man.
Same thing with Gronk. They look, because there's too many of them. They know the horror stories. You hear stories about a guy who makes like $150 million. And, next thing you know, you look up and they're like, why is this guy broke? Like, what happened?
Like when Jay Leno was on the Tonight Show, he never spent any of his Tonight Show money.
Yeah.
It was all he lived off of his
stand-up money.
Stand-up money.
Yeah. So it's, being wise and it's, they learn from their mistakes. Not everybody does, though. Not everybody does. And, but it's still, like some of it, like somebody said, man, 20% for savings and 30% for discretionary. That seems like a bit much. It probably is. But
everything's relative.
Everything's relative. But, we're talking about living comfortable. We're not talking about just getting by.
Right.
So, so we'll see. Speaking of broke, we're going to do that a little bit later. We're talking about Susan Powder. If you guys remember, she was the aerobics lady in the 90s, super fitness lady. And we'll talk a little bit, too, about the likes of Kevin Spacey, because we have an update on old Kevin there. Ooh.
What's he being accused of this time?
Nothing. But
it worked out so well for them last time.
But if you have a room, he's willing to hang out with you, because that's how broke he is. He's living in hotels and couch surfing. They foreclosed on his house in Baltimore. So, yeah, I mean, there by the grace of God, right? I mean, you got to think about it. Having all that money, being successful like that, and once that hit you, everything went away. Now, if we were making a movie, guys, if we make a Hallmark movie, he may star in it for us. If the money's right. Coming up, natural or fake? Not those. Talking about Christmas trees. We'll talk about that straight ahead. Chad Benson, we'll be talking about that.
Weekday mornings 9 to noon and streaming on the SuperTalk 99.7 WTN app.
Relief Factor is awesome. Every day I take my Relief Factor, 100% natural. It's got things like omega-3 fatty acids, curcumin, it's got resveratrol, icariin, all this amazing stuff that helps with the pathway that, in your body that essentially makes sure that your aches and pain in your joints as you get older, especially with your muscles, they feel better. It takes on the inflammatory side of things, which is awesome because I'm working out more. And as we get older, let's be real. You could take a nap, wake up, you're like, I don't know why my shoulder hurts. This helps. It's incredible. My wife takes it. I take it. I swear by this stuff. Relief Factor is awesome. You can take it every single day, right? It's not addictive. And if you trying to feel better just in life, I mean, how many of you have gone out, you played golf for a couple days, your legs are sore, you can't walk because you haven't hit the ball for a while. Guess what? You take Relief Factor, you don't have anything to worry about. You can feel amazing. Go to ReliefFactor.com now, ReliefFactor.com, $19.95, less than a cup of coffee a day. It's a 3-week quick start. That's ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF, 1-800-4RELIEF for Relief Factor.
All right, drivers, we are dealing with the rainy weather, and we're also dealing with construction in Madison. It is stop and go, 65 northbound between Old Hickory Boulevard and Louisville Highway. This is a 42-minute delay right now trying to get through Madison. A Truth Social post by President Trump bringing strong reaction from Chuck Schumer. And a new study on how much money it takes to live comfortably in Tennessee coming up at 1 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Real or natural? I'm talking about trees.
Real or fake? The American Christmas Tree Association says 83% of homes that put up a tree will go artificial. But it's been a pretty good growing year for the nation's Christmas tree farms, and prices will reflect that.
When you have the large supply that we have right now, you need to get the trees harvested and sold.
Marcia Gray heads the Real Christmas Tree Board.
We can't leave them in the ground forever.
With most of our Christmas decorations coming from China, the price of artificial trees will run about 20% higher this year than last.
I we went to, my wife and I, we have date night. And so Friday nights we have date night. So we went out last Friday and we were getting some Christmas stuff. And she goes, I said, let's go to Michael's because I know you want to get some stuff because they like to paint. My wife's obsession right now, she buys these wood things that look like they're like villages and they're.
Oh, yeah.
Saturday morning, she got up. She is still working on it now. And Saturday and Sunday, she's probably spent a combined 20 hours working on that. Like stucco. It looks like it's incredible. But the cost of the fake trees.
Yeah.
Now, they're way better than they. Remember when you were a kid? It's like they were so awful. There was like a metal pole. It was horrible. But they're way better. But last year, I made my wife get a real one. And because I love a real tree. So, and I wanted Charlie to get a real tree. So we went and got a real one. And it was great. It was the garden over there off Rosa Parks at the, what was it? The farmer's market. And so they got, and they were all, in fact, we got it like 2 or 3 days before Thanksgiving and they brought it to us on Black Friday. But we didn't have a take away your tree day at the apartment. So at like 6 in the morning, I had to wrap it in stuff. And then it looked like a body. And I ran across the street down the alley and threw it in something. But it was, and now Charlie wants a real one again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I told my wife, she goes, but the needle, I said, last year the needles didn't fall off. It was nothing compared. Our tree was so amazing.
And they smell great.
They smell great. Right? You know, it's like,
and who knows, you might get one with an owl in it.
We might get one with an owl. An owl, I'm telling you. You know what's coming next year? The great war between the owls and the crows. They hate each other. That's crazy, but it's true. Somebody said they put their tree up for 12 years. You know what? You should put your tree up. Your mom passed away, but I bet your mom would like you to have your tree up. And it's so, you know what? It's just, there's something about a real tree. There is. You know, you get it in. Like, I don't want to take it out of a box. That doesn't feel fun.
Stop it, man. You're going to convince me otherwise.
You want to go and know that, you know,
I like my tree in my box.
It was there and it was in the ground and somebody cultivated it and grew it and it's going to give us joy. Yes, baby. That's what I'm talking about. All right, coming up, a lot of good stuff. We'll talk a little bit about the battle that's about ready to take off and is taking off between, you know, MAGA and the GOP and where they go from there. Also, you guys remember the Facebook guy that got put in jail for his Facebook post? What do you think he's doing now?
Getting ready for a check?
Getting ready to sue. We'll talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Plus, Susan Powder. What happened to her? It's crazy when you think about it. And, man, it only takes a second for next thing you know is like, did that person just deliver us food? Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 997.
One o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Again, drivers getting through Madison, that's going to be a 38-minute delay. If you are 65 northbound, you got stop-and-go traffic due to the wet road mixed with construction there. That's going to be between Old Hickory Boulevard, exit 92, and Louisville Highway, exit 98. Full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Well, a Truth Social post by President Trump is bringing strong reaction from Senate Democrat leader Chuck Schumer.
We've already seen what happens when Donald Trump tells his followers that his political opponents are enemies of the state. Every time Donald Trump posts things like this, he makes political violence more likely.
So Trump posted remarks on Truth Social after several Democratic veterans released a joint video in which they said that U.S. service members could refuse illegal orders. In one post, Trump said, quote, "It's seditious behavior, punishable by death." So how much does it take to live comfortably in Tennessee? A new study by travel and financial information company Upgraded Points, published on Channel 4's website, says a single adult needs about $96,000 a year, while two adults need around $126K. Add a child, that jumps to $165K. Families with 3 kids would need more than $224K. This study defines comfortable as covering essentials, about 50% of what you make, discretionary spending about 30% of what you make, then savings without financial strain would be about 20% of what you make. And the jobs picture before the government shutdown, stronger than anticipated, according to the latest report from the Labor Department. September's report has finally been released. Here's ABC's Alexis Christoforous.
This report, first of all, is out 7 weeks late. And now that we finally have it, we realize the job market was in much better shape than we thought heading into that historic government shutdown. So we were expecting 50,000 jobs to be added. We got more than double that, 119,000 jobs. The unemployment rate at 4.4%. It is the highest level in 4 years. But the rate went up sort of, I guess, for the right reasons, because more people were out there actively looking for work, which means that they were then counted among the unemployed.
More on the economy. Rebecca Jarvis says some retailers like Walmart reported earnings in line with expectations, while others say sales are slowing.
At the same time, we've heard some weakness from retailers like Home Depot, Lowe's, and Target, who have all reported weaker expectations for the time going forward. And that's because they say of the uncertainty facing the consumer. There is one thing that is clearly booming here on Wall Street, and that is artificial intelligence. The company NVIDIA reporting stronger than anticipated earnings overnight.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
What's up, people? Next hour, Matt Van Epps is going to be here, so start sharpening your texting skills, questions you would like to know. She runs against Afton Bain, who hates America. She's a communist. What does it say in that thing? She's a communist? In that commercial?
I think it was she's blonde and short.
And she's a commie. She hates everything. She wants everybody to go away. She hates everything and everybody, especially Nashville.
I've been heavily involved with the Nashville mayoral race because I hate the city, I hate the bachelorettes, I hate the pedal taverns, I hate country music, I hate all of the things that make Nashville apparently an it city to the rest of the country, but I hate it. Yeah, I'm that girl at the airport that all these bachelorettes are giddy walking out in their two-toned colored Pantone pink shirts, and they walk out and they're like, oh my god, Nashville is so bad!
They're so loud.
Woo woo! Everybody's like, she hates Nashville. She hates America. Well, we're going to have her on, and we're going to put her on the spot, hopefully, and go, do you hate Nashville, or is it just the woo-woo girls coming here with their hats saying, Jenny's getting married? It's about time, Jenny. So, there you go. That sums it up right there. So I don't think she hates Nashville the way that some people think that she does. So, but some of you out there, they're like, if that was a Republican, if they were joking around like that, yeah, I mean, come on. And what's interesting, and here's a perfect thing that to me I find, we take politics way too serious. We're ridiculously, just everything is emotional and reactionary. And one of the things I love about Trump, even though he's outrageous at times like today with the whole we should hang these people. By the way, our buddy Mike Lyons that you guys heard me play here, and we have him on. He's a military guy. Some of his friends are over there, and they've already, before any of this, and we were talking, they've sought counsel before anything's even happened in Venezuela. And the reason is, as Bella and I were talking about before, why is that? Because if stuff goes sideways, you know who never gets in trouble? Lindsey Graham. For pushing it. We should bomb this place. So,
I was just following orders doesn't really work if you remember back to the Nuremberg trials.
Yeah, that's exactly. Just following orders. But here, it's come on. But, should Trump have said that? No, but that's what he does. But then on the other side, I love this. Mamdani's going to go meet with Trump.
Thank you, Caroline. Is there anything that Mayor-elect Mamdani could say tomorrow that would ease the president's concerns about his future leadership in New York?
Look, I don't want to speak for the president or get ahead of this meeting that we are currently working on tomorrow. As you saw, the president put out a statement tomorrow that the mayor-elect will be coming to the Oval Office, and so our teams are arranging those details. I won't get into the president's thinking on it. I think you'll all hear from him directly. I also think I will just add, it speaks volumes that tomorrow we have a communist coming to the White House because that's who the Democrat Party elected as the mayor of the largest city in the country. I think it's very telling, but I also think it speaks to the fact that President Trump is willing to meet with anyone and talk to anyone and to try to do what's right on behalf of the American people, whether they live in blue states or red states or blue cities, in a city that's becoming much more left than I think this president ever anticipated in his many years of living in New York himself.
But you know what Trump does like? He likes the fact that Mamdani pushes back on him. He likes the fact that they're perfect foils for one another. And let me tell you something. Trump helped raise Mamdani's profile tremendously, like in a major, major way. And we all know that everybody, you guys do realize that 90% of the stuff he wants to get done, hell, 95 now that they're not going to give him free bus passes, nothing's going to get done. He's like, the first day I'm mayor, I'm going to freeze rents. Good luck with that. If you think you have a problem now with the cost of living, see what happens then. Because if you were really able to do that, those people are going to do what with their homes? They're going to sell the hell out of them to other rich people who won't rent them out. Then you'll have real issues. They'll stop developing. Again, real issues. They did this in St. Paul, Minnesota, a few years ago. They put a law in. They were super excited. Like, look at us here in Minneapolis, St. Paul. We've got rent control. It's going to be great. Guess what happened the next day? Building stopped. That was it. And then what happened? Well, then all of a sudden, which way did rents go? Through the roof. And then what? Well, you had not enough supply, way more demand, people not renting stuff out, and nobody was building. So did they repeal the law? No. They just ignore it now and don't enforce it because they knew it failed. But I don't think he's going to do that. But it's good that he's going there. I like the fact that they're going to have a conversation. And I do know for an actual fact, Trump likes the fact that he pushes back on him. And they'll have a pleasant meeting, and Trump will joke with him because that's what he does, just like he does with Bill Maher and everybody else. And they'll laugh, and he'll say, he's a communist, but he's not, like, I don't know the communism. He says he's not a commie. He says he's not going to make everybody Sharia law, but he'll do the things that he does. And, Mamdani will come out and go, I don't agree with him, but we had a good meeting, and there's some things we see eye to eye on about affordability and certain things like that, but we have different takes, but he meets with him. And that right there is something that I totally admire about Trump, the fact that he's willing to talk to people at a time, yes, he says outrageous things. Yes, the whole thing with today where he thinks that the Democrats should be hung and stuff is ridiculous and it's absurd, but that's him. In life, you got to take the good with the bad. And Trump provides both. Right now, MAGA has an issue because MAGA is Donald Trump. It is a cult of personality. He is an object that is always in motion, and he built the party in his image, and there's way too many pretenders. It's way too many pretenders. And I look around, and everybody's like, who's it going to be? Is it going to be J.D. Vance? Well, I think everybody's jockeying already. That's why you got Ted Cruz doing what he's doing already with his exploratory thing and looking around and already talking about running for president, because some people feel there's a little bit of weakness. And I think there is, because you're going into that lame duck situation. All presidents do, no matter how good you are, you go into that lame duck situation. People are trying to jockey themselves, trying to figure out exactly where they fit. And also the unknown. What's it look like without Trump? And I said last night, and I'll say it over and over, you never want to be the guy after the guy. So the star retires, whatever it is, then the next guy comes in. You never want to be that guy. And the battle that's going on right now is, Charlie Kirk, he played a bigger role than I think people realized. And he got those Gen Zs and the older Gen Alphas and the millennials to pay a little bit more attention. Now what are they doing? They're all fragmented. They're listening to Nick Fuentes. I mean, he's got he gets millions of views. But he's talking in between his insane, the Holocaust didn't happen. And he talks about affordability, not wanting to live at home with your parents, which is a huge deal. So there's a battle going on in this world, and who's going to be able to, because you're not going to replace Trump. You're just not. Whether you hate him or love him, you're not replacing him. And if you're the Democrats, by the way, it's the same for you. You've spent the last decade fighting a guy that you hate with Russia, and chaos and craziness and impeachments and phone calls and all of the things. He's going to steal your soul. He's going to, he's Krampus, and he's all of the evil things, and he's fascist, and he's part Hitler and all of that stuff. And now what are you going to do? Because now you got to actually figure out how you're going to be able to talk to the people, because you've been running on he sucks so bad and he's mean and evil. And that's not a win either. So both parties are going to have to figure out how they remake themselves and who comes to the forefront. I know everybody's like J.D. Vance. People like J.D. Vance. I'll be honest. I think J.D. Vance is a good guy. I'm not a fan. As far as if I was looking of all the people that may be out there who think that they can run and do something with, no. Marco Rubio? Not Ted Cruz. Like Byron Donalds, I like him. I'd throw my hat in the ring if I was him. Absolutely. And they've got a deep bench. But whoever does get to that point where they're there, you got to do it your way. And the other side of it, too, is what does Congress do? Because the senators, and that are running next year, the Congress people that are running, next year as well, all of them, how do they position themselves? Because there's going to be an after Trump. And how do you position yourself? Because so much of what has been outside of a few, has been, your entire, this is what my platform is. It's been a lot of what Trump has done. So you're going to have to rethink that. So there's a lot that's going into this next one, but there's also of where do they go from here? And it's, you almost think you have to pivot in such a way where, because otherwise you're going to just, don't be the cheap imitators, right? Don't be the Kerry Lakes of the world, right? Who try to come off tough, and it just seems so fake, and they're over the top because people see through that. They do. And if you're as we were talking to Chris earlier, how do you get the Gen Z and the millennials? Affordability is huge. But right now, they're all fractured. They're pissed because of the Epstein files. They're all pissed because they can't afford anything. And they're angry. They're looking around and they're listening to, they're looking and going, okay, you cozied up with Israel, gave them tons of money. You said you weren't going to go to war. Now you're talking about going to war. And you're getting richer by the day. And everybody else seems to be getting, staying the same while everything's pulling away from them. And then they look over and they see somebody like Nick Fuentes who throws his hat over to the side, the MAGA hat, and picks up the blue hat that says America First. And they're like, yeah, that's what I want. But you can't, and the Republicans have to figure out how you deal with that. That guy's got a ton of young people that are paying attention to him. But he's a white supremacist. I mean, he's mostly a troll. He's anti-Semite. Again, mostly a troll. And you're looking over there going, okay, we want his people, but we don't want his politics. How do you square that circle? Going to be interesting. Coming up, good stuff. Remember, Matt Van App's going to be here at top of the next hour. So we're going to, we'll ask you for some of those questions that you guys would like to know. So he's running against the communist, Afton Bain, communist. She's a commie. She is. Kamala didn't like her, but Kamala doesn't know where she's at. It's a tough day if you're her. Every day's a tough day. Is she at the Cheney thing?
She was indeed.
There she is. I wasn't invited because Dick is exactly that. By the way, I talked to the Iraqis today. They're happy with that he's dead. For those of you guys who don't know, he lied. That's what we're saying there. If you're missing the show, shame on you. Grab the podcast. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7. Prize Picks right now, baby. Opportunity for you with Prize Picks. It's America's #1 fantasy sports app. It is not like picking teams. You're not doing that. You're picking the projected stats of players. So let's take football. Saquon Barkley. You're thinking to yourself, it's more or less. Okay, so you got to pick a lineup. That's 2 or more. You pick up to 6. You win $2,000 your money. 2,000 times your money, and you're picking the stats. So you look over there and you're like, okay, do I think that Saquon's going to rush for more than 68.5 yards in this game? More or less. Do I think that Josh Allen's going to pass for more than 1.5 touchdowns this game? More or less. That's how you choose. That's what's great about it. You already know the sports. You know the players. You understand the game. So why not start winning with our friends over at Prize Picks? Download the app today. When you play your first $5 lineup, right? So you download the app. Use my code Chad. The minute you do, win or lose, when you play your first $5 lineup, you get $50 in lineups directly into your account. How cool is that? So what are you waiting for? Download the Prize Picks app today. Start your winning. Use my code Chad and get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Pick. It's good to be right. Must be 21 in Tennessee. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789.
Ever wonder what it takes to live comfortably in Tennessee? Well, a new study claims to know. We'll tell you about it at 1:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Da-da-da-da. It's uncomfortably comfortable, that number. I think it's a good way to describe that. Uncomfortably comfortable. So, Matt Van App's going to be on at 2 our time. Somebody said, have you bought in the line about Gen Z and Gen X? Well, Gen X, I'm Gen X. Affordability. You know, he sent me this thing with Stossel. That story's been, by the way, I've done a ton of stuff with Stossel, and 99% of the stuff he does is pretty darn good. But yeah, the affordability, it's not just, by the way, Gen Z and Gen X and you know, because Gen X, I think we're the best because we lived in the before times, which was pre-internet, pre any of that stuff, and we lived in the after times. But yeah, it's not super affordable for a lot of people. By the way, but the younger generation is struggling, and they're the first generation right now. We got generations that aren't going to do better than their parents. That's a scary thing right there. I mean, they're not going to do better than their parents, you know, and they came out, they've already got tons of debt. And yeah, so life has gotten more expensive, and it sucks. And not all of them, but it's across the board. And they're frustrated with what they see is it not getting any better anytime soon. And that's why they voted for Trump. They wanted a change agent. They wanted somebody that was chaos and going to disrupt. That's why Mamdani. They wanted somebody that was going to disrupt. And I think we're going to see more of that, and you know, until we see the wages start to grow. And that's going to be the big thing, the wages. And when does that happen? I don't know. I mean, a decent jobs report. Here's something for you, Ken. The jobs report. I heard the jobs report, 119. We thought we were going to get 50. And that's for September, by the way. There's no October. And August was revised down to minus 4,000 jobs. My question is, how much do we believe the 119? Because the last person that didn't do it right got fired. So, you know, and what happens, you know, everybody's worried about AI next year. Is AI going to take over? And no, AI, we're still a long way away from retail businessing, understanding AI the right way. What were you going to say, young Bell?
Ken's back there working on a story.
Oh, fired. Somebody said, I'm confused. Why are we invading Venezuela and not Mexico? If we're talking about drugs. The reason we are invading Venezuela, allegedly, although Trump last night, what did Trump say? Something about the CIA getting ready. He's okay to plan for the CIA to, you know, do some backdoor stuff. And I saw, was it Bustamante and another former CIA agent say, you know, normally the CIA likes to work a little more covert than the president announcing that we're going to do something. Maybe. One of the reasons we're going in there, there's lots of oil. They've got tons of rare earth minerals, and that's a big reason. The other reason, South Florida, right? You got a lot of people from South Florida, Cubans, Venezuelans who've been there for decades, who have a lot of influence, and this is really Rubio's baby. So, and that's if we go in. We'll start to worry when you see, as far as boots on the ground, if we see the army show up. That's when you're supposed to go, uh-oh. I don't know when that's going to happen. God willing, it doesn't. And I know they're trying to make it. Colombia now is trying to tell Maduro, dude, you need to go. Because Colombia's fear is two things. One, we're going to get over there, and then we're going to go, oh, maybe we should go to Colombia because they're even bigger with all the cocaine. And the other one is, we don't have a great track record in some of these areas. If it devolves into some sort of civil war, the last thing Colombia wants is that pouring over the border and them fighting there. So it's going to be, this will be interesting if we do something. Now, God willing, Maduro, you know, he just wants to stay a couple more years. He wants the cake and eat it plan, which is the Idi Amin plan, which is how much gold can I steal? How much money can I get? And where can I go where there's a safe harbor for me, probably Soviet Union, Russia, or, somewhere like that, China, where I don't have to worry about the Americans coming after me and I can sit around in a lap of luxury knowing that I robbed my country blind. But apparently we're not having it, which is good. The Idi Amin plan is not, go die somewhere else with all the money you could steal, right? Assad and all of these guys. All right, coming up, he got put in jail for this meme, and we talked about it here. Well, he's speaking out now, and guess what? I don't know if you guys are aware of this. He wasn't too happy, and lawyers is what I'm thinking. Lawyers.
Whole month in jail.
Yeah.
For a meme.
A $2 million bond for a meme. Talk about that, among other things, straight ahead. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 997.
$1:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. It's still a 23-minute delay trying to get through Madison on 65 northbound because you've got, the weather, wet streets, then construction delays at 65 northbound between Old Hickory Boulevard and Louisville Highway. That's about a 6-mile stretch there between exits 92 and 98. Also, Talbot's Corner stalled vehicle 65 northbound there at the northern split. Ever wonder what it takes to live comfortably in Tennessee? Well, a new study by travel and financial information company Upgraded Points, posted on Channel 4's website, says a single adult needs about $96,000 a year. 2 adults around $126K. Add a child and that jumps to more than $165K. 3 kids, $224K. That's covering essentials, fund money, and savings. Right now in Tennessee, a retired Perry County police officer plans to sue after spending 37 days in jail over a Facebook meme about a school shooting 700 miles away at Perry High School in Iowa. The sheriff claimed it scared a lot of people in Perry County, Tennessee. They arrested Larry Bushart in September, and his bond was set at $2 million for allegedly threatening school violence. But prosecutors later dropped the charge, saying his post was not a threat under Tennessee law. Bushart's legal team telling News 2 the arrest violated his First Amendment rights, and a lawsuit is to be filed early next year.
We can only assume that the sheriff made the decision to arrest Larry because the name of the Iowa high school and the name of his county are similar.
Nearly 3 weeks after a UPS cargo plane crashed in Louisville, immediately after takeoff, the NTSB is out with new images that give investigators a better idea of what may have caused the crash. Images show the moment the engine erupts into flames and detaches from the plane. Investigators determined the MD-11 did not climb higher than 30 feet before crashing. 14 people killed in the crash. UPS grounded its entire fleet of MD-11s following. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Chilly mornings coming our way with lows dropping back to the 40s.
Chilly. You know what's not chilly? Our good friends over at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. You know what is awesome? $12 right now. Big Daddy Trump special, $12 comprehensive exam. All right, Dr. Mitchell, Dr. Ashley. It is, the technology you have is incredible. The machines they have is awesome. You're going to go in there for just $12. You're going to get the exam, x-rays if needed. They're going to explain the diagnosis and your first treatment, all for $12. Write this down, painisbad.com, painisbad.com, or call 615-246-5009. If you've got an MRI, bring it. If you're worried, hey, you know what, Chad, I've tried everything, you haven't tried them. Dr. Mitchell and Dr. Ashley are going to take care of you. They are the best around. They're my doctors. They should be yours as well. I swear by what they do at the Wellness Institute in Nashville. No surgery, no spinal injections, no painkillers. Back, neck, sciatic, your knees, herniated discs, spinal stenosis, you name it. They've got the brilliance in what they do and understanding and knowledge and the technology that is second to none. Don't sit around and paint anymore. Call the Wellness Institute of Nashville today and take advantage of their $12 special going on. 615-246-5009. 615-246-5009 at paintisbad.com. Down. It was crazy. You know, we live in a world of memes, meme-tacular stuff, and sometimes, apparently, memes can go wrong to the point of, I guess, impinging on your constitutional rights.
Did you ever think you would end up in jail? I mean, you're a retired officer.
No, I didn't.
That was the first time we've seen Larry Buschardt since his release after more than a month behind bars. The reason? A comment under a Charlie Kirk vigil post in a local Perry County, Tennessee Facebook group. The comment referenced a 2024 school shooting at Perry High School in Perry, Iowa, about 700 miles from Perry County, Tennessee.
We can only assume that the sheriff made the decision to arrest Larry because the name of the Iowa high school and the name of his county are similar.
Yeah, I think it was similar. Now, the meme that he memed out there to everybody on Facebook too. They said it was dangerous, right? It threatened. There was nothing on there that says, I'm coming to the school to get you guys. Nothing on there. It's insane. And yes, he's a progressive and all of the things, and he's not a fan of Trump and whatever. It has nothing to do with this. Again, free speech is for everybody. And whether you're on the right or left, when somebody's free speech is impinged, we all need to jump into action. This, though, was crazy.
Buschardt was arrested on September 21st on a warrant for threatening mass violence at a school.
Threatening mass violence at a school. At a school.
The Perry County Sheriff Nick Weems later said Buschardt's post caused, quote, multiple reasonable citizens to fear of their children's safety at school. And then there was the bond, $2 million.
Honestly, have a hard time figuring out why he was on a $2 million bond. I mean, that is an incredibly high bond amount.
Do you remember? We were talking about this. If it wasn't for the stink, because this thing, you know, we started talking about it, then Reason Magazine started talking about it, then it went everywhere. And he would have been, remember, his hearing was scheduled for like December 12th. He would still be in jail.
What would that have been, like 3 months?
Yeah, something like that, like 2.5, 3 months. And a $2 million, that's my thing, a $2 million bond for a meme that we could put out there. And so it was it the DA or somebody who'd said, oh, yeah, we need to go after this guy. And then they tell the sheriff. So, they're like, Barney, Andy, right? They tell the sheriff to call the police because it wasn't even in that city, right? So to call the police and send him over to their house. And the guy's like, look, they just wanted me to come over here and make sure you're here. And he's like, I have no idea. He goes, look, I'm an a-hole, but, that's not a crime. And the guy's like, I have no idea why they want me to come over here and make sure you're here. And then they went in, of course, and arrested him because he's so dangerous.
The felony charge has since been dropped, but Bushart, with the team from the Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression, or FIRE, is now preparing a civil rights lawsuit, arguing his arrest violated his First Amendment rights.
We should be sorting out our differences with words, not with violence, and not by arresting people and throwing them in jail.
Bushart's legal team is preparing to file that complaint likely in the new year. Attorneys say the sheriff's office claimed multiple complaints came in from parents who took the Facebook meme as a threat. His lawyers requested those records but haven't received any response within the legal deadline.
You know what you should do? You should go arrest people for stupid. That's what you should do. Arrest him for stupid. What do you think? What's a good settlement? Month in jail. He lost his job.
Well, you also want to get some seriously good punitive action in there too, so the city will not want to try this again. So I'm thinking $5 million.
What would you take? You say 5, but if they say we're going to give you $1 million, you're like, okay.
No, I'd be like, you need to learn a lesson here. I'm going to have 3 or we're going to court.
I want you to change that school's name to my school, too.
Yeah.
Buzzard High. That was so embarrassing. And then God bless the sheriff. Remember when he sat down, he's like, I guess this is the meme. He's like, does it say he's going to do any of those things? He goes, I don't really, he sat down with the reporter and did the interview. But it was... And he's like, well, we can't let people say certain things. You could tell it had nothing to do with their school. And that's the frustration, people. That's the frustration. And the fact that, they asked, hey, where is the people here who say that they were worried their kids were going to get shot up at school? We can't find any of that info, but we had multiple people. I don't think you had multiple people. I think that, too, was a lie. Life, we were talking about last hour about Kevin Spacey, lost his $5.6 million home in Baltimore because he's having to defend himself. He's now staying at hotels and couch surfing. A guy who was one of the great actors of our generation, right? The great Kaiser Sose. The struggles he's gone through. And you could see, just how fast it can go. This is one I came across the other day, and I'm like, Belle, do you remember this lady? Her name is Susan Powder, and she was a big fitness guru. You couldn't escape her and the Tony guy. Remember the Tony guy that had the ski thing, and he was doing the sit-ups, like the 6-minute abs and stuff. You couldn't escape those two in the 90s.
Stop the insanity!
It's the stunning downfall of famed 90s fitness icon Susan Powder. Susan was once the larger-than-life personality whipping America into shape.
4 more.
She was known for her bleached blonde buzz cut and, of course, that legendary battle cry.
Stop the insanity! This was me when I was 260 pounds.
She transformed her body and, in the process, became America's #1 fitness queen. Even making a cameo on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Well done,
The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Back in the day, man, she was so big, and she lost all that weight, and she was so fit, and she was all of the things, and VHS tapes everywhere. You couldn't go anywhere. She was, stop the insanity. And guess what's insane? You never know in life.
But in 1995, she shocked her legions of fans and declared bankruptcy. Her multi-million-dollar weight loss empire gone.
And I just walked away. I literally walked away. I did it very intentionally.
Now 67, she lives in Las Vegas delivering food for Uber Eats.
Hey, this is Susan with Uber Eats. I have never stopped working, not one moment. That's why my children are so proud. Nothing is beneath me. I will work. I'll do anything.
Uber Eats. So you went from millions of dollars and everything to Uber Eats. I mean, life can humble you. I've been humbled, man. I've been humbled in life. I don't know if you guys have ever been humbled, but I've been some humbling. I've eaten a lot of humble pie. I've also eaten no pie because we didn't have money for pie.
You said you didn't like pie.
I didn't, but it was humble pie, different.
I one time survived on a box of pancake mix.
That is, yeah, I've been there. I've been there.
Thank goodness it only needed water and not milk.
Oh, good. Yeah, because you were getting that.
Or eggs.
We were so poor when I was a kid. They came and how poor
were you?
It was back in the day when they didn't shut your cable off. They came and just took your box away from you.
Yes.
I remember that night. They took our box away from us. And all we had was a little radio, and I ate a popsicle for dinner. I was poor. As an adult, struggled. Man, as an adult, I poured everything into my radio show years ago. I'm like, I can't afford my car. I got to give it back. I rode a bike in Palm Springs in the summer for a while so I could still do my show. Until finally, one of our clients, who was a great guy, said, Chad, here's one of our trucks. So I drove a plumbing truck for a while, even though I wasn't a plumber. Like, it can happen. It can, look at everybody's getting out their poor jokes. It's, and thank you, everybody. Tony Little was the guy that was the gazelle. He had the gazelle. Yeah, but Viacom came by my house and got my cheater box. Everybody had a cheater box.
Yeah.
But, we were poor. And, I've been there. Like you said, did you even have syrup?
No.
Oh.
I did have butter.
Yeah, oh, well, at least it wasn't a fully naked pancake. But, it's like I remember in Palm Springs, I was broke while I was doing my show. And I would ride my bike over to Del Taco, and I would have $2 and change, and I kept my Del Taco cup, and I would go get 3 little tacos for 59 cents, and I'd take my Del Taco cup and I'd fill it up again because they didn't care.
No,
and it was like crazy. It was like, oh, a Costco good, $1.50 hot dog and a drink. I'm living large. But that was a long bike ride. Been there. I've been there. So, and she lost it all. But you know what? There's a new documentary out with Jamie Lee Curtis that's produced it, because, this is a woman who is, she's delivering stuff that, you're thinking to yourself, wow, you had everything. And again, sometimes it's, some people I was talking the other day about Gary Coleman. They talk about a guy who got screwed.
By his own parents.
By his parents. By the way, he was screwed so bad that they made a law called the Gary Coleman Law. So parents couldn't steal from their children in that. And he was screwed because they took all of it. He was the highest paid actor for a while. I think he was making $80,000 an episode on Different Strokes. And he didn't have the recourse. There was no social media where he could have become an influencer. He was just broke. And talk about eating humble pie, being the biggest little star in the world for a while, and then you're a security guard making minimum wage.
Did you see how Dick York died? You remember that he was the first Darren on Bewitched.
That's right. How did he die?
Lung cancer, wasn't it?
It was lung cancer. He died living in a camper trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he didn't get royalties. No. And you know, if you're lucky to get on network television, the money's way bigger. It is, and the royalties, if you're lucky to get them, are huge.
Well, nowadays, if you're on a network television, you get royalties.
Yeah.
And back then, that was very unheard of. I mean, even like the guys in Gilligan's Island didn't get royalties. The guys in the Brady Bunch didn't get royalties.
Wow. Yeah.
Those people just got ripped off. But then after a while, the union was like, no, we're going to change this.
You know who was the one who Scott Baio? Chachi pushed for, he was the one who really changed a lot of that stuff. And there's a saying in Hollywood, does he have money? Does he have Scott Baio money? Because he pushed so hard for that. But yeah, back in that day, man, like you said, none of those guys got paid. And have you ever seen, by the way, there's a couple guys who are actors and you recognize them, you don't know their names, and they're on shows and they will go through and read their royalty check. And they'll go through, they got a whole bunch of, okay, here's one from, I was on NYPD Blue, and it's 32 cents.
Yeah.
Right? And I was on this one, and it's $108.
I was friends with, there's this, a local rock band here that was on Arista Records. And I was friends with the guitarist. His name was Steve Malone. And I had gone over his apartment, and I was waiting for him to finish getting ready. We were going to leave and go out drinking. And there's a check sitting on his coffee table. And I looked at it, and it was for 27 cents. And it was from Finland for the use of their song in a TV show for 27 cents.
Wow.
A guy who we grew up with and we played soccer and did stuff with, he was pretty famous in the 90s. He passed away. He was on a show called Roseanne. And he played Becky's husband, our buddy Glenn. And he was like, he said, Roseanne really took care of us with the way they did residuals, because he goes, I don't ever have to do anything again. He goes, and every week I get a $7,000 check. And he goes, but it was set up correctly. He goes, but, he had gone through all the, and he'd done really well doing a whole bunch of other stuff. But he also had troubles. I think he owned part of the Viper Room too, so he had some money, but it was those guys, he goes, the guys that came before me, they got nothing. Todd Bridges, all those guys, they got nothing out of that. Dana Plato doing porn. It's like, it's sad.
It's like back in the day, I guess they could not see into the future that all of these shows would be running in syndication.
Yeah. Yeah. And you didn't have to pay it, right? Because it was like owning the show. You guys are just a portion of the show. We own it.
Yeah.
So, and that's, it's sad. It is sad. And you get people that don't have your best interest at heart. And what do? They take your money, they make bad investments for themselves. And then you look up and you've gone from millions to you're working at a pizza place and driving pizza.
Or dying of lung cancer in a camper.
Yeah. It's a humble experience in life. And we've all eaten humble pie. Most of us have. All right, coming up, who knows what we'll talk about. Matt Van Apps is coming up in a little while, 2 o'clock, top of the hour. We're going to talk about all kinds of stuff. He's running to replace Mark Green up against Afton Bain. We're going to get his take on all kinds of stuff. And any questions you have, get them in now. Text the show. It is Chad Benz Show, Super Talk 99.7. All right, guys, I want to talk to you. My friends at Bulwark Capital tonight, 5:30 our time. They're doing their review preview webinar. It's free. They're going to talk about the impact of AI on the market, preview 2026, talk about what's happened this year, and kind of peel the curtain back on what it is they do on their value investing, how they look at things globally, and talk about, how they focus on lowering risk, lowering costs, and give you the most upside potential. It's absolutely free. Okay, so it's tonight at 5:30. You can sign up by going to knowyourriskpodcast.com. That's knowyourriskpodcast.com for the review preview from my friends at Bulwark Capital Management. Knowyourriskpodcast.com. Investment advisory service offered through Trek Financial LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Investments involve risk, not a guarantee. Past performance doesn't guarantee future results. Trek 25338.
So, drivers, we've got some pockets of pretty heavy rain here in downtown Nashville and the surrounding area. It is adding to the issue we've seen in Madison today. That's about a 15-minute delay getting through Madison if you're 65 northbound between Old Hickory Boulevard and Louisville Highway. Injury crash right now by the airport, 40 westbound at Briley Parkway. Police are warning about the new high-tech methods criminals are using to steal your car. We'll tell you about that at 2 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
What's in a name? Guess what, guys? 2025. That is the year of the Lord that we currently find ourselves in. Adolf Hitler just was reelected. That's right. There's a Namibian politician named Adolf Hitler, and he just won re-election.
Wow.
They used to be a German colony, so they didn't probably have any idea. You know, they thought it was a cool name. I watched an HBO documentary about people with, it was called, I think, the Hitlers or something. People who had the last name Hitler.
Man.
And there was a guy in like Bolivia, and his dad thought it was just a cool name, not recognizing not understanding, really, not a study of history. But there was a family in like Iowa, and their last names were Hitler, and they didn't change it. What are you doing? That would have been the first thing I did. I would have, after I came out of my mom, I'm like, we're going down to the courthouse.
Yeah.
But here in Namibia, he won. He says he has no plans for World War III. Good for you, sir.
That's exactly what someone planning World War III would say.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
As long as everybody gets in line.
Yep, there you go. No plans, but just in case. Coming up, hour number 3, we're going to kick it off with Matt Van Epps. Get your text in. What questions would you like to know? He's taking on Afton, right? Tennessee, 7th. We will get his take on stuff. And yes, a lot of you are asking about the weed. Already. It's the Chad Benson Show. Super Talk 99.7.
Two o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Tell you about how much this rain we're going to get, how long it's going to hang around. It's already causing traffic problems out there. Still got a 15-minute delay driving through Madison, northbound 65. You got construction and rain there. That's between exit 92 and exit 98. BNA got an injury crash there, 40 westbound at Briley Parkway. Donaldson, left lane block, Briley Parkway at Lebanon Pike. And then Belmont, you got a crash, 440 westbound after Hillsborough Pike. Talbot's Corner, stalled vehicle on the left shoulder, 65 northbound there at the northern split. Well, a new study shows Tennesseans need nearly $96,000 a year to live comfortably as a single adult. For two adults, that number jumps to about $126,000. With one child, it's $165K, and families with 3 kids would need more than $224K a year. This study's by travel and finance information company Upgraded Points. Channel 4 posted it to their website. It defines comfortable living as covering necessities, discretionary spending, and savings without financial stress. We're talking about 50% of your earnings of what you make on necessities, 30% discretionary, then 20% savings and debt. Maybe this will help. Amazon issuing refunds after a $2.5 billion settlement over Prime memberships. Automatic payments started November 12th, that is. They'll continue through December 24th via PayPal or Venmo with checks mailed if unclaimed. Refunds are up to $51 for customers who signed up between June 2019 and June 2025 and had trouble canceling or rarely used Prime. If you don't get an automatic refund, you can file a claim starting December 24th. Right now in Tennessee, retired Perry County Police Officer Larry Bushart plans to sue after spending 37 days in jail over a meme he posted to Facebook critical of President Trump's comments after a school shooting in Iowa that the local sheriff claimed scared people in his county. Bushart's lawyer from a civil liberties group telling News 2.
We can only assume that the sheriff made the decision to arrest Larry because the name of the Iowa high school and the name of his county are similar.
700 miles away, prosecutors later dropped the charge, saying that his post was not a threat under Tennessee law, and the lawsuit is expected to be filed early next year. That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
It's the Chad Benson Show on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Oh, Matt Van Epps in studio. It is time to talk to the man trying to not unseat Mark Green, stepping away, and you're trying to take his spot. Thanks so much for hanging out with us today.
Chad, honored to be with you.
Number one question we always hit everybody out of the gate with, weed. How do you feel about the weed? Because our show is pretty weed friendly.
Yeah, it's an issue I just need to learn more about and dig into and understand and take a full look when we get into Congress. And I think I'm a limited government person. I'm a low taxes, pro business, pro economy, and so that's the framework that I look at all issues with: pro family, support for law enforcement, veterans, military, and it's an issue I haven't done a whole lot of work on, honestly, and look forward to digging into it more.
Tell everybody a bit about your background.
Sure.
You're going up against Aft, and so tell everybody, because I think a lot of people are trying to figure out, they've heard the commercials, because everybody's been bombarded with all the commercials, and no offense, we kind of all made fun of all you guys as commercials.
Yeah.
But tell everybody a little bit about you, rather than just what they see is like, everybody knows you're pro-America, Trump, but like, who are you?
Yeah, I appreciate that a lot. So, West Point grad. I come from humble beginnings. My mom was raised very poor. My dad was lower middle class. They met in Ohio. My dad was drafted into Vietnam. He was an infantryman and tunnel rat in Vietnam in 1966 and 67, and the biggest patriot and conservative that I ever met. And I grew up that way. Neither my mom or dad went to college, but my brother and I are both West Point grads because of the hard work that they put in. And at West Point, I got there in July of 2001, and 9/11 happened. And I was, we knew we were preparing to go to combat while we were at West Point. And we entered with about 1,200 cadets, and we found out in May of 2005, our graduation month, that Time Magazine put 3 of my classmates on the cover, called us a class of 9/11, entered during a time of peace, graduating during a time of war. And we found out on May 28th when we graduated, we were graduating with exactly 911 cadets, which is, I think, the hand of Providence in that. But went from West Point, studied political science, went on to be a helicopter pilot in the Army. I went through survival school, Ranger school, went to my first duty assignment at Fort Hood, Texas, where I was flying Apache attack helicopters, and then deployed to Iraq for 12 months, and was just north of Baghdad at a place called Camp Taji, and we were responsible for delivering direct fires and reconnaissance in support of U.S. forces. Met some special operators, and that looked pretty interesting. So I assessed and was selected for the 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment out of Fort Campbell. That brought me to Tennessee, and I served in that unit for about 5.5 years, and switched over to flying the MH-47 Gulf Chinook, and deployed 8 times to combat with 160th, and some very formative experiences. I've been sharing a couple of stories on the campaign trail just about what that meant and what service there means and how important military and veterans are and their families are to me. And lived in Clarksville for 5 years, and then moved to Nashville, and live in Nashville now, and went to work at a veteran-owned small business, and then after that got into state government, went back to the private sector, and then most recently was the commissioner of the Tennessee Department of General Services, and stepped down from that to make this run. Still serving in the National Guard. I'm a lieutenant colonel, a deputy brigade commander with a unit down in Tullahoma. I've got a young daughter. My wife is from North Carolina, and we met here, and raising our family here, and just love Tennessee, love the district. My brother's still in the Army, and he's still active duty, still serving the country, and so love patriotism, love our state, our district, and our country.
Matt Van Epps is here. We're sitting here talking about all things as he's running against Afton for Tennessee 7, taking over from Mark Green, who is stepping away. It's not if but when, right, with a helicopter when they go down. That's my buddy used to be a helicopter pilot. Now he flies. He's like a commercial. He's like, dude, it's not if but when.
Yeah, it's a complicated machine, and especially in combat operations, it's tough. It's tough work, and you can be doing everything right, and it really is a complicated machine. But they're really well trained crews, and I love flying both Apaches and Chinooks, and those units were incredible. The missions were really formative and incredible, and I was honored to do that. I haven't flown. Last time I flew was Afghanistan 2014, so it's been a little bit. Still in the National Guard, I'm still a 15 Bravo and Army aviator, but I've been in all branch immaterial positions, all staff kind of work.
Are you still certified to fly?
I'm not, actually. I'm not. No, it's a good question. I feel like it's like riding a bike, though. So I feel like we could get out there and it'd be, we'd pick that thing up, we'd hover, and we'd take off and be okay.
There you go. So we need that. If that's
shoot off some
happen,
Hellfire missiles and have a little fun.
That's right. That's an amazing aircraft.
So let's get serious here. Affordable housing. Like we're just talking, Ken's, there's a new report out about, somebody who is, you got a youngster in there who's your campaign manager. He looks like he's 9. Yeah. And he, $96,000 is what they say comfortable as a single person to live in Nashville. The cost, inflation is up, but wages aren't keeping up. Prices are getting away. People are wondering about affordability in housing, healthcare, and they're thinking, okay, so you're going to take over. What are you going to do for everybody? Yeah.
Well, we're hearing that probably the number one thing, I think you're right, is affordability, and just how do we get to being more affordable? I've met with the Home Builders Association. I've met with mortgage bankers, trying to really wrap my mind around all of it and understand how can we best step in to help. And as a matter of fact, we were just coming from Williamson County, and we were there for a presentation on affordable housing for the city of Franklin, and I think it starts with our overall approach, and so it's about keeping taxes low and cutting regulations, and we have a supply problem for housing, and I think making it easier for builders to build and ensuring that they have what they need, and mortgage bankers. I was fortunate to be able to to buy a home as in the Army, in the active duty Army, because of the VA benefits and the VA home loan guarantee. And that was so important to me, as it is for many veterans, to be able to buy that first home and live it's the American dream. It's what we have to do. And I think, we have to look at how can we, from a federal government standpoint, I think one thing is how can we incentivize states to be able to remove exclusionary zoning and do those kind of things so that we can build affordable housing where workers are, outside of military installations, where the jobs are. One of the statistics that came out of this presentation in Franklin today was about the distance that folks drive to go to work in Franklin.
Yeah.
And it was a very high percent. I might get this wrong, but I think it was 17% drive 50 miles one way or more to go into, which is just all the time,
Matt, about the amount of hours that, that people spend inside their car. And the thing is, it's really not about even affordable housing at this point in Nashville. It's because it's going to have to be out there, because unless we're going to build higher, there's not a lot of room. And that's people are frustrated they feel like life's getting away from them, and they're no longer keeping up with the Joneses. The Joneses are gone.
I hear that too, and totally agree. And we've got to work really hard there. We've got to work hard to unleash Americans' energy dominance. We bring down the cost of electricity and power. I think that's a big part of it. Cutting red tape, keeping taxes low, I think is incredibly important. I'm a low tax person. I would have voted for the One Big Beautiful Now law for the number of, locking in the largest tax decrease in American history.
The problem with that, though, man, is at the end of the day, the wealthy, they get to keep all of their taxes permanently. The middle class, all that stuff phases out. And there's the frustration, I think. There's this, the populism that Trump came is they're looking around and going, hey, Trump and everybody else looks like they're getting wealthy. They're having the big parties. He's got this coins and he's making billions. And the AI companies and everybody else, they're just going, what about us, the middle class? I thought the whole thing was the middle class feels like they're getting squeezed out of everything.
Well, and I think the middle class is so important. I mean, that's how I grew up, middle class. And my mom was, as I mentioned, she was raised poor. My dad was lower middle class. And they met at IBM, actually, in Cleveland, Ohio. My dad was an entry-level salesman. My mom was a secretary, and they met there. And they worked really hard. Neither of them went to college, as I said, and they worked really hard for my brother and I. And they were able to buy a house in the 1980s at a 17% interest rate. I think it was a really, really high interest rate. And they worked really hard to give us an opportunity and a chance, and we were raised better than they were. And that's what we want too. We want affordable housing. We want people to be able to start a family, own a home, and live better than the last generation. I think that is the American dream.
The younger generation, this generation, like the Gen Alphas, but really the Gen Zs and the millennials, they're not going to live better than their mom and dad. It's like the first generation in history where they're looking and going, we're coming out already of school with a mortgage payment. Yeah. And, we're going to live with, some people's goals is not to have a roommate, let alone own a home.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, I hear that too. We're hearing that a lot on the campaign trail. And it's a key focus. It's a key focus for us in, extending beyond housing to unleashing American energy. I'm pro-nuclear. I think there's a lot there.
What is up with the insanity? I know with the oil companies, tons of money. They don't want nuclear around because, let's be real, that cuts in their business. And then you get the greenies who all run around and go, oh my God, 3 Mile Island. But man, nuclear's awesome.
I would agree. And I think as an Army guy, I've talked about this a little bit. It's kind of hard to give kudos to my Navy brothers and sisters, but I will here. They've gotten it right. And they've gotten it right. Nuclear submarines don't have to refuel. Sailors don't get sick. And so they figured out these small modular reactors. And Tennessee is leading and has the potential to continue to lead on that front, which is exciting. The first small modular reactor will be at the Clinch River site in East Tennessee. And it's leveraging the private sector. There's a company out there too that will be the first private sector company to do nuclear recycling, the nuclear fuel recycling. And I think when we unleash innovation in America, we see really great things happening. And nuclear should continue to be a cornerstone of that, in addition to oil and gas.
Yeah, it's the nuclear thing has got this really bad rap. And by the way, it's the one thing we know how to dispose of. That's the other side that people don't realize. Talking to Matt Van Apps as he's running for Mark Green's seat in the 7th up against Afton. She is, for better or worse, whether you like her or don't, and we know Afton, she's very personable. She's very nice. She's not, Matt and I were talking about yesterday. She's very genuine. You don't have to like her politics, but she's a very, good person, and I believe she believes all these things. You look at taking her on, you guys are completely opposite ends.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of, of what both sides want is closer than we realize. And we've become so polarized, and I know that the algorithms play a huge role in that.
Yeah, well, and her and I have met once or twice, I think, and have been friendly. It's a friendly interaction, and I don't really know her, but seems like a nice person. And I think we could not be more different in terms of policy and how we view the world and how we're approaching fighting for the district. And I think our viewpoint, obviously, I think is the one that resonates with voters in the Tennessee 7th Congressional District, and is what's right for our district, our state, and our country. And that's what we're fighting hard to tell folks. Number one is that the election is November 26th, is early voting through on November 26th, and the election's on December 2nd. And a whole lot of folks, I think know, but some folks don't know. And that's what we're trying to work so folks know that. And then the other side is showing our vision that we support law enforcement. We support ICE. I'm an America First conservative that's been endorsed by the president and stand 100% behind President Trump and fighting forward for America First principles. And we think that doing that is going to continue to grow our economy and support businesses and farmers and families across our district.
Matt Van Epps is in here. He's going to stick around for another one. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna talk to him about Trump. Got some other stuff coming up here. If you guys have some more questions, hit him up on the old text line. We'll try to get as many questions as we can get fired at Matt here in a second. And we appreciate him coming in. This is the Chad Bench Show, Super Talk 99.7. Raycon, best earbuds around. You will love your Raycons. They're awesome. The earbuds are amazing. Classic earbuds are awesome. If you like quality audio at a price that won't break the bank, Ray J's put these things together. 4 million customers. They love them. And right now, 30% off site-wide. It's their Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale going on all the way through the month. And take advantage of it. If you've thought to yourself, Chad, I want to hear you on awesome earbuds. Bell's got his. He loves his. I've got mine. I've got several pairs. Everything site-wide is 30% off and 30-day happiness guarantee. 8 hours talk time, 32 hours of battery life. We talk about all these things all the time. But active noise cancellation's incredible. And the fit and feel, comfort second to none. So what are you doing? Grab your Raycons, 30% off. Ho, 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 win the holidays with Raycon. BuyRaycon.com/Chad. BuyRaycon.com/Chad. All right, guys. Birch Gold right now. Big deal with Birch Gold. It is their super duper Black Friday special if you want to convert an IRA or a 401k into an IRA backed by precious metals, especially gold. You spend $20,000, you get free gold sent to your house from our friends at Birch Gold. And right now, with the chaos going on out there, what's going to happen with the dollar, inflation, and there's some global unrest, and maybe people are moving off the dollar across the board. Gold might be a good way to diversify. So this is what I want you to do. Text my friends over there, A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. Text Benson to 989898. They'll get you out the info kit, show you all the things you need to know about how to move over there, what physical gold's all about, and how you can protect yourself. Simple and easy with my friends at Birch Gold. Text Benson now to 989898 for Birch Gold.
Very heavy rain right now over parts of downtown Nashville. It is not helping matters on the roads, especially through Madison. It's been slow going through Madison today due to the weather, but also construction delays. Still 11-minute delay there, 65 northbound through Madison. Got that crash over at B&A westbound there at Briley Parkway, and then Belmont 440 westbound after Hillsborough Pike. Living comfortably in Tennessee. We'll tell you about a new study that shows how much money you need to make. That's coming up at 2:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Matt Van Epps in studio. All right, let's first and foremost, Trump. A lot of people are saying, okay, you're America first. Trump feels like he's kind of bailed a little bit on America first with with Israel, the support that's at times that people feel ridiculous, but also the money for Argentina and a few other things. And there's no doubt that there has been, some pressure that maybe America first, they don't feel like it's America first.
Yeah, I fully support the president, back him, and have been endorsed by the president, which I'm just so grateful and honored to have. And I think on the first point, when we see peace through strength, and I fully support peace through strength. And, the president's the best negotiator in the world. And when he was trying to bring the Iranians to the table to negotiate and tried that, and it didn't work, and he delivered a decisive blow against the Iranian nuclear program. And I think that's a great example of peace through strength, where he wanted to negotiate, and after that was done, he pulled everyone back. And that was the largest, biggest deep strike in American history, 140 aircraft, very complicated, and the right thing to do to protect our allies and interests in the region. And I think the president, we saw a really great jobs number today, which is great.
September, yeah,
from September, just released today.
Nobody working
that's
last
right.
month.
That's right. And that's I think that's really good for the economy. And I think the president wakes up every day and is trying to figure out, how do we continue to make America first and to solve things that were caused under 4 years of Biden, a porous border, unbridled spending and inflation. And we're seeing a lot of really good outcomes from that now. And there's more work to do. And I'm excited to get to Congress to fight alongside the president and with the speaker to deliver on America first.
The ACA is going away. And, the affordability is going to be the biggest issue. Because let's be real, this time next year, if affordability is still, if wages are stagnant and we're in a bit of a recession and things have gone sideways, you can kiss Congress goodbye. And I think people recognize that. And affordability, Trump has come out on more than a few occasions and basically did the same thing Biden did, which was not say, hey, guys, look, this is going to take a while and stuff. It's good. Everything's great. The message has to be there, and there's going to be a lot of people that are going to see their premiums go through the roof, and there's got to be a fix. I don't care who broke it. I want to know, Matt, who's going to fix it.
Yeah. Well, and I think the president and the speaker have now signaled a willingness to negotiate there, which is what we'll have to do. You're right. We've got to fix it. And I think broadly in healthcare, and we get this question a lot too, and we've tried to talk about it. I think there's a good example in Tennessee and Clarksville when the government gets out of the way and we have a private sector and a market-based solution that comes in, 2 new hospitals going in Clarksville. And that's going to increase access. It's going to promote competition. And that increased access is also going to decrease costs. It's going to increase outcomes, which is really important. I think we've got to do more for full transparency in cost in healthcare.
Yeah.
I think that's really important. I think, right now you can have a plan that has, single payer, different plan, and different hospitals have different prices for the same procedure.
The addressing the fact that you've got monopolies when it comes to hospitals, they're consolidating. It is, you go across the street, you break your arm. What do? Well, you go over there, you break your arm. It costs you, $1,500. Across the street over here, it costs you $4,800. Why? Right? They didn't do anything different, kind of thing.
Yeah.
People are frustrated with this, and you can't let affordability get away, and especially when it comes to healthcare, because we're looking around and everybody, my God, they're just like, we are getting people every day texting us going, it was $330. Now it's going to cost me $1,200. I can't afford to pay that. I'm just going to roll the dice.
Yeah, and I think that full transparency, both in cost and quality outcomes, there's a huge opportunity there to save a whole lot of money and just increase that competition, make it a consumer-focused, consumer-based approach there. I worked at a healthcare company here in town for a little bit, and it the premise was embedding healthcare navigators in rural clinics and working with patients there to tear down barriers, work with the provider in that healthcare clinic, but also the patient, ensure that they are able to make it to their appointments on time and to take away those transportation barriers, and they get their medications on time. And we saw really good outcomes with that, and being able, the private sector having a role to play in that. I think another thing is we should look at HSAs as well, healthcare savings accounts, and just look at what else we can do there to give more power to families to make decisions and ensure that they have the resources needed for their health care.
Talking to Matt Van Epps, last question, and we're going to let you have the floor here to pitch everybody, hey, this is why me. What can we do as a nation? Gallup came out with a new poll today that 80% of us, right and left, agree on virtually almost everything. What can we do to bring the temperature down, but actually start to have conversations, not look at your neighbor as the person that they voted for, but as their own individual? Because I think we need to have more conversations in this country, because a vast majority of us live just a little to the right or a little to the left. They don't live in the extremes. What can we do to bring the temperature down?
Well, so I'm as you know, I'm a conservative, an America First conservative, but as a veteran, I was endorsed by a group called With Honor, and there's a caucus called the Four Country Caucus that is cross-partisan. And I've agreed to work across the aisle with other veterans to advance legislation for veterans. And I think that's a great starting point. We have a common basis where we've served our country, we've sworn to defend the Constitution, and it's not going to change the fact that I'm a conservative fighting for conservative values for our district. But I'm willing to talk to the other side and hear them. And we're starting from a known point that we've served oftentimes probably together in combat, and that there is more common ground there. And we've got to figure out how to do that and work together to support veterans, to support other areas where we can move the ball. And I think that's a good starting point where we can collaborate, and we can still maintaining our conservative position and fighting for that, but working with other veterans.
All right, Matt Van Epps, you got 1 minute here. You're running in the 7th. Take over Mark Reed's spot. You're up against Afton. Tell everybody why you.
Thank you so much. Well, first and foremost, it's a background in leadership and service as a special operations aviation leader, moving into small business and leading small businesses, to state government as the former commissioner of general services, and still serving in the National Guard. I have real-world boots on the ground leadership experience to handle the hard problems, to work with moderates in the Republican Party and conservatives like me and other folks to advance meaningful legislation in Congress. The distinction could not be more clear. We are pro-business, was endorsed by NFIB. We are pro-family and farmer, pro-law enforcement, want to keep the border secure, want to execute policies and principles that keep taxes low, that cut regulation, that address affordability like we've been talking about, that is so incredibly important. And we've seen that momentum across the district. We're up right now, but I need everyone to get out and vote. I need your vote. I ask for your support. I ask for your vote. Our website's mattfortn.com. That's mattfortn.com. We're going to fight for it. We're going to win this on December 2nd. Early voting now through November 26th, and the election on December 2nd. But it's going to take all of us putting our jersey on, getting on the field, and casting that vote for conservatism to keep our district, our state, and our country free and prosperous. And that's what we're going to be out there fighting to do every single day.
Appreciate you coming on,
man.
Thank
you so much. Thanks, Chad. Yes, sir.
It is the Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Still got some heavy rain, pockets of heavy rain mixed in with the light to moderate rain here in Middle Tennessee. Some of the heaviest rain right now is in East Nashville. Full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Living comfortably in Tennessee isn't cheap. A new study by travel and financial information company Upgraded Points, published by Channel 4, says a single adult needs about $96,000 a year, while two adults need roughly $126,000. Add one child, that jumps to more than $165K. Then families with 3 kids need $224K annually. This report factors in 50% of your income going to necessities, 30% discretionary, and then 20% savings to define what comfortable really means. Amazon is issuing refunds after agreeing to a $2.5 billion settlement over misleading Prime signups and tricky cancellations. Automatic payments started November 12th. They'll continue through December 24th, sent via PayPal, Venmo, or by check if unclaimed. Eligible customers could receive up to $51 based on membership fees paid between June 2019 and June 2025. If you don't get an automatic refund, you can file a claim starting December 24th with a deadline of July 23rd next year. Another major vehicle recall affecting some popular midsize sedans, says ABC's Mike Dubusky.
Kia is recalling more than 250,000 K5 sedans, and Hyundai is recalling more than 80,000 examples of the mechanically similar Sonata. The problem, according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, is that damage to a particular valve could allow air into the fuel tank, which could end up melting and increasing the risk of a fire. Drivers will be notified if their cars are affected by January 16th. Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
Yeah, in the meantime, owners are being told to keep an ear out for a popping noise coming from the fuel tank area. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
You'll want to keep the umbrella handy. We'll end up near 70. A couple of showers linger into our Saturday. Temperatures are in the 60s. Mostly sunny on Sunday, also sitting in the 60s, but some chilly mornings coming our way with lows dropping back to the 40s.
Oh, the rain and what it can do. That's why you need USS. Write this number down for me, kids. 615-488-7855. Better yet, USSTN.com. Why is that? United Structural Service. Next thing you know, with all the stuff going on, getting ready for the freeze, right? The pipes could burst already. You got some issues with water. Maybe there's some cracks. Do you have damage? Uh-oh. You want to get ahead of that. You don't want mold or wood rot. You don't want to have a need for a structural repair. That's why USS. They'll come out, give you a free inspection to make sure that there's no issues in your basement, your crawl space. Make sure that the foundation is sitting good. You do not want stuff to go sideways, not pay attention to it, and it goes from something small to something big, because then it gets spendy. USS is there for you. They're not going to sell you anything you don't need. It's absolutely free for them to come out. Call them today, 615-488-7855. Don't let it wait. Get ahead of it, 615-488-7855, or online at USSTN.com.
Selling your home can be stressful, but it doesn't have to be. Get a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. There are no showings, no open houses, no stress. Work with the #1 real estate team in the U.S. and close with confidence. Go to markspain.com today.
All right, guys. We are a week away from Turkey Day. That's why you need this big, huge, mega savings and gratitude from our friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. 93 are free mainline opening special. That's right. Only $93. Offer valid to single-family homes with a clean-out. And why do you need it? Because next week, while everybody's sitting around, they're gorging on food, getting ready to eat their 28th roll. And next thing you know, Uncle Larry's like, oh, God. And then if there's a backup in that bathroom, everything's ruined. Don't let that happen. That's why you need Busy Bee. All right? They're going to take care of you. So it's 93 or free mainline special opening right now. $93. Single-family homes with a clean-out. Top of that, they love to give back. That's what I love about Busy Bee. They're so amazing. Right now, they're getting ready to collect coats in Lebanon, all right, for needy families there. So this is what I want you to do. It starts the 25th. It's their kickoff. It's Tuesday. Coat drive, 3 to 6 p.m., 7 Cedars Butcher's Block on Lebanon Square. Coats, anything to keep people warm. Needy families this time of year. What can you do to help? And they're also doing it Sunday, 11:30, not the time, but the 30th of the month. Parking lot of Mount Juliet Chamber of Commerce, 2 to 4 p.m. No matter what you need, Busy Bee's got you covered. Whether it's your HVAC or your plumbing, and the 93 are free right now going on, so take advantage of that. Call 775-7833, 775-7833, or busybehvac.com. Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, where comfort meets care. Bah. So appreciate Matt Van Epps coming in. Very nice guy. You know, we give people like that. We give everybody crap. That's what we do. But I was good having a conversation. He goes, thank you so much for having a conversation. I'm like, I appreciate it. You know, it's good. It's good. You know, he is who he is. You know, a lot of you are like, he's MAGA. He is MAGA. I think we know that. He supports the president. I support the president. You guys are like, no, you don't. No, I do. What I support, everybody should support the president to do the right thing and for America to win. Doesn't matter what side of the aisle it is. That's what we want. We're all doing well. That'd be a good thing. That being said, the weed thing, I will say, did not go over well in the text line. It's like, how do you not know about weed?
What was his response?
I have to look at it. It's been, you know.
Yeah, he hasn't looked at it.
Yeah, it's like, no, dude.
That's where you should have had me or Ken walk in there and go, here, just smoke this real quick, and then we'll talk about it.
Yeah, what do you think of that? That feel good? You feel better about that? Yeah. You guys want to win some more? But, you know, again.
You want to get high?
Tally, you better settle down.
Guys, all right.
But you know, he is in the Trump camp. He loves Trump. It's, you know, I want to know what you're going to do. I wish we'd have more time. And he said, look, I'd come back again. And by the way, we just got a text from Afton and, you know, trying to get her in here as well because we need to have these conversations. And I like the fact that, you know, said he'd work across the aisle because, you know, the Gallup poll today, they asked right, left, center, everybody. 80% agreed across the board in so many things where you would think, well, that's not like us, right? We don't agree on stuff because we all want some compromise because the 80% is us, not the extremes, right? And by the way, the extremes are 5%. The other 5% on each side are people who don't care about anything at all. The nihilist or just oblivious, which we have talked about. There is a certain fun thing about being oblivious to things. But we want compromise. We want them to get stuff done. The Congress's chlamydia has a better rating than Congress.
Yeah, Congress is in the tank.
Yeah, you know why? Because people are like, well, at least when I got chlamydia, we're having fun.
Death has a higher popularity rating than Congress.
Yeah. I mean, and why is that? Because they don't work together. Everything's performative. And people recognize that. And a lot of you were, again, not happy about the weed thing. And some of the, you know, the things that you look at out there, you know, the affordability things. There's only so much. Affordability is really going to come from the state and the cities. Like the government's only, the federal government's only going to be able to do so much in that situation. And the reason is because, well, you know, if you're going to go out and build in Franklin, you're going to go out, you know, anywhere, you know, that's going to come more of at a local level, right? And that's, so when you talk about that, but the ACA, I don't think the Republicans have a plan. In fact, somebody just texted earlier and said this, and, somebody would vote look, if the GOP doesn't fix the economy and healthcare monopoly, I'm not going to vote for this party again. I understand that. I understand. And look, the economy is a big deal. Affordability, they better figure out how to talk about it. Do I think he has a plan? You're only going to have so much of a plan because you got to go to Congress and you're trying to bring stuff back here and, for your district and stuff. But, I think he's got a good head on his shoulders and he's obviously a smart guy. But, the question is going to be affordability next year. If we get through the first quarter and life is tough and we get towards that, into that second quarter and it doesn't feel like getting better, people by then will have made up their mind. And he was talking about, and we didn't really have a chance because, we were talking about a lot of different things. It's about also who's enthused. And I will tell you this right now. The Democrats have the enthusiasm on their side. They feel like there's stuff there. They feel like there's opportunity there. And turnout is going to matter. And, I think he's hustling a lot more than he was, say, 3-4 weeks ago when he felt he was up by 15 or 20. There's a little bit more of the urgency, I think, that you're seeing. But you've got to be able to, get out there and speak to the people. But as he said, everywhere I go, it's about affordability. It's about affordability. And he recognizes you can't tell everybody life is great and they don't feel it. And the weed thing. The weed thing was, for a lot of our listeners, little no. So funny. I don't even smoke.
Yeah, you don't do anything, Brother Chad. You don't even take ibuprofen.
No, I don't.
Yeah, I saw a blurb today where apparently the Department of Agriculture in Texas is calling for repealing the hemp ban.
Yeah, because it's stupid.
Well, they know how much money. Yeah. It's a $28 billion a year industry right now.
Absolutely. And the funny thing is, who was the one who spent the most money? Weed and then alcohol. Big cannabis and alcohol. Who spent the most money? Because they don't want competition.
You mean pharmaceuticals?
No, big weed.
Oh, big weed.
Because weed has to go through licensing.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
And you could sell this stuff, a lot of these things like your drinks and everything just in the liquor store. They don't have to go through the same thing that weed does. And they want to sell that same stuff, but they want it to be done in their stores.
Yeah. Well, this bill would kill the drinks too.
Yeah.
It kills everything.
Yeah. So why is it we can't have a middle of the ground candidate? You know what it is? It's people say middle of the road. Is what it is where's the independent thinker that's willing to look at all sides, find out what's best, what's true based on data, and go from there. We can't have that because right now we don't live in a time with algorithms and with arguments the way they are to allow somebody to be level-headed. It's all about performative. It is. It's all performative. Van Epps needs to work harder. I do think that there's a sense that he is feeling like that she's catching up a little bit. And, we'll see. At the end of the day, it's enthusiasm, man. It's all about turnout.
Yeah, well, it's turnout, and it's the time of year when this is going to be held, too.
Yes.
I mean, we're in the middle of the holidays now.
Yeah.
Next week, we are in it.
We are in it, right? We are way in it. I mean, because I'm only here Monday, Tuesday, and then I'm off until the following Tuesday, I think. And like you said, when is it? It's the 2nd, right? The following Tuesday's day I come back is Election Day.
Yes.
He was even saying, people have been telling him, I already voted for you. He's like, no, that was the primary. They thought it, well, some people don't get it, but people just aren't paying attention because, like you said, you got you got a vacation, if you got family in town, you got to get ready for Christmas, the end of the year, we're in it. And a special election in early December isn't top of mind. And so that's why being in front of everybody's face is important. And the enthusiasm, go look at the enthusiasm gap right now. And you usually get a bump when it comes to the party that is chasing power. But to give you an idea of how big that is, if all things are even, right, like as far as enthusiasm, and they look at the polls, and Chris Stirewalt was talking about this the other day, the Democrats have to win by about 6 to 8 points to take back the House. Right now, their enthusiasm gap is so big, they're up by 15. That's tough. And this is going to be, Matt was even saying, look, so far, early voting has been very minuscule. Very. So we will see. We will see. Again, I bet you I wouldn't be surprised if we have him on or at least talk to him one more time before the election. But it's going to be an interesting one. And, I bet we get Afton on as well. And hopefully we do. Like you said, she texted Bell a little while ago. And
I bet she was listening.
She probably was, And I said, because I said, tell her we stood up for her because we thought that stuff that you said was kind of, so ridiculous about, and everybody's like, oh, she's a communist. How she hates Nashville. She doesn't hate Nashville.
Well, I've texted her multiple times
Yeah.
and she hadn't texted back. So finally, I just texted her again. And I said, I usually have to be dating a woman for her to ignore me this much. And she finally wrote me back.
Yeah. I mean, you guys have no idea what it's like with him.
Yeah, early voting ends on Wednesday.
Yeah. And he says it's dating, but for the rest of us, it's just normally known as stalking. But, there's that as well. It's okay, though. You're not good at it. You're not like you're a
about
ninja.
dating her. I'm saying it would normally be a woman I'm dating ignoring me this much.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Women ignore him like cats. Just kind of ignore. They're like, I'll talk to you when I need to, Belle, and you can feed me.
Feed me.
Feed me. All right, coming up, the welcome, Matt. I saw him here a little while ago.
I heard him earlier. He
Yeah,
was
I
out
did.
there in the hallway gallivanting around.
He does gallivant. That's part of it. He sachets and gallivants. You guys don't know that. That's what we deal with here. It is the Chad Bench Show, Super Talk 99.7. Bow. Wow, 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 wow. It's like a didgeridoo there. Wow, wow. It is.
Man, those didgeridoos.
Wow. Those things are so awesome.
Annoying.
I'm pissed that they moved the giant turkey.
Mandis.
Mandis is the worst.
Dan Mandis. Stuffed it in the corner. Nobody stuffs turkey in the corner.
I know.
Oh, she'll be back out, baby. Yeah. She'll be back out.
Yep. So Patrick Swayze, he was 37, she was 15. That's statutory rape. The guy should have said, let me tell you what's going to happen to you. You're going to jail, Patrick.
Yeah, nobody puts baby in the corner. You know who puts baby in the corner? Her father. And, oh, by the way, here these authorities want to talk with you.
He's like, but Epstein told me it was okay. Epstein in the Adirondacks.
It's a weirdo movie.
Where were they out? They were upstate New York, right?
Oh, yeah. They were up there. Don't get me started on Pretty Woman. Don't get me started on Pretty Woman. It's just a movie about a whore.
That's all it is.
That's all it is.
But you know what? It's a whore with a heart.
Yeah.
That's the name of my movie, Whore with a Heart.
I don't think it's going to sell like Pretty Woman.
Well, you know what?
That is so mean. It's a movie about the redemption of a whore.
With a heart. Remember, you can't kiss her lips. You can run a train, but you can't kiss her lips.
Jesus! Chad!
Goodness!
Come on!
Somebody move that turkey.
Well, it's not a family show, but whatever.
Yeah, sorry, kids.
Jeez. No, I used to say it a different way. It's like, she won't kiss you. She'll give you, but she won't kiss you. Wink, 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 wink. But whatever.
Oh, my God. Sorry, people, if you're offended by that. God bless you, and we apologize. But if it made you laugh, you know what? You're welcome. What are you talking about today, man?
We'll have Friday on Thursday. So he's gone through the Epstein transparency bill law, I guess it is now, and he's going to break down how they can violate it. So we'll find out together, how it potentially could be violated. And I said yesterday, and I'm going to go over it again, that, look, I still have a hope that, we'll have all of this on the table and let everybody consume it. I'm hopeful that Trump has had someone in his inner circle get to him and say, listen, all the bad stuff about you for the most part, is out there.
Well, you hope so.
You would hope, right? Yeah. Otherwise, it's going to be bad. So all the bad stuff about you is there, and
don't make it worse for yourself.
Let's go. Let's make it happen, and you get the high ground. That's how you get high ground.
Yeah.
Because all of these other people, otherwise, you will continue to speculate that he's either protecting himself or protecting someone else, and that goes to the heart of what I voted. I voted against that.
Yes,
right.
Absolutely.
In 2016, I voted for transparency and to drain the swamp, and that feels swampy. So hopefully he's going to do the right thing. We'll talk about that at the top, and then I don't know. Afton hates Nashville, apparently.
We were just talking about that. She said, "Hey, Dad." She does hate the what are those things? The little riding the bike thing.
Pedal taverns.
Pedal taverns. Yeah.
Bachelorette parties.
And Bachelorette and the Woo Girls.
Which, by the way, so many people in the text line. Yeah, I kind of agree with her on that.
Everybody's like that. But you know what I see when I see the Woo Girls? What? I see money. Let those drunks pay my taxes for me.
Yeah.
Right.
No,
look, that's the way I look at it.
Look, you know what it is?
The government's going to get their money somehow.
And I always say this because, coming from a place, California, which, everybody always whines, well, you guys all moved out here from California. Let me tell you about California. Nobody's from California except for a few of us, but we recognize the tax dollars that come in. Everybody wants all of their dollars. They don't want what comes with their dollars.
Yeah, those girls need to stay home and send a check.
By the way, he said he wants to follow them and shoot them with a paintball gun.
Bell's been around. Bell's like a unicorn. He's a true Nashvilleian, right? He's been here because y'all know, and I come from a place, I'm going to talk a little about this too. I come from a place where Birmingham, Alabama didn't have a lot going on. And Birmingham, Alabama would look at, the grass is always greener on the other side.
Always greener.
Birmingham would look at a place like Nashville and go, man, I wish I could be that. I wish we had that amount of tourism money. I wish we had that amount of activity. I wish we were the it city. And you move to the it city, and the it city's like, we suck. We hate ourselves.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Well, the grass is always greener.
Grass is always greener, I suppose.
And we're going to raise your property taxes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, the property tax thing. Plus, we've got a turkey. Plus, yes, Ken's here. That's right. But I repeat myself. I did there. We got a turkey. We're going to talk turkey at the 6 o'clock hour. So if you have any turkey talk that you need to get out, and I mean like turkey dinner.
Serious turkey talk.
Serious turkey talk in the 6 o'clock hour. So
there you go.
Very excited.
Matt and Straight Ahead, you guys have a good one. We'll do it again tomorrow.